If we had, yes, donate to the school, $ FDMG school on your Cash App. 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 If you need to mail in your donation, make it payable to the FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. That is Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We appreciate $1, but we would rather have 10. We appreciate $20, but we would rather have 50. We appreciate $50, but we would rather have 100. We appreciate $100, but we would rather have 200. We're trying to renovate a school, brothers and sisters. We're trying to renovate a school. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not opening up a penny candy shop. We're not selling water ices, okay? We're not selling hot dogs. We're renovating a school. Do you understand? Do you understand? So please, brothers and sisters, give what you can. We're building an institution, okay? We're trying to give our children a chance that we didn't have. That's what we're doing. I don't have to pin it because I done already told you what it is. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Before I continue with my message, thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. I got this.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
He crazy. My son has a I was off today, but he has a band concert this evening, so I had to do the service. I may have time after, but I don't think so. I'll probably go to bed early. I get up extra early tomorrow. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. Cooker Test Undefeated. Thanks everyone so much. I know I've been away. We did a live stream yesterday. When you have some time, check it out if you haven't already. Yesterday was revealed. It's actually a video from April, but I didn't catch it because we never finished the video. But Umar has changed the grand opening date to September of 2026. He's very crafty in these ways. He initially said that the school was going to open September 11, 2014. He changed it to 2015, changed it to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And we've been saying that it's only a matter of time before he changes it to 2026. And he actually did that last month. I just didn't get to that point in that video. We finished it up yesterday, and here we are. Umar has no intention of opening up a functional school. He also stated that the school will not be accredited. There's a video that people sent me where he actually explains this to this woman. I think she's a principal of a school, if memory serves me correct. I could be wrong, but that's actually an older video. It's an older video where Umar admits that the school is not accredited. I have two videos where Umar admits that the school will not be accredited. So what that means is that when the child, if and when your child graduates, after you spend $500 a month, that if and when they graduate, and the first graduating class would, if Umar started the school now, let's say in 2026, the first graduating class would be in 2063. No, excuse me, 2033 will be the first graduating class. That when they graduate, their diploma would mean absolutely nothing, and they would need to go get their GED. They would not qualify for a job that if you have to have a high school diploma, they would not qualify for that. If there's a college, you have to have a high school diploma. You can't, they would not qualify for that, and a whole host of other things, because they would not have an actual functional, legitimate degree or excuse me, diploma. So ultimately, these children would have to then go to get their GED. So it actually becomes a moot point. This whole school scam, intellectually speaking, it's just a bunch of buffoonery when I think about it critically. It's just a bunch of foolishness at the end of the day. Now, what Umar is doing these days is very interesting, because he's still telling people that the grand opening is going to take place in September of 2025. But what he's done is, and I'm going to play the video. What he's done is he's substituted, and I told people this was what he was going to do. He substituted the grand opening instead of meaning that this is when all of the children will be enrolled, faculty and staff, classes are in session, and we're going to start in September of 2025. Now what he's saying, and I told you this is what he was going to do, he's saying that September of 2025 will be when he will show the buildings to the community as a grand opening, but the school actually won't start until September of 2026. Let me play this for you guys. Okay, I was shocked, but I'm not shocked, because he's done this so many times before. This is part of the scam. Okay, the longer he carries this out, the more money he gets from his donors. So let me pull this up right quick. Is this it?
Talking about? Are we live? Because I gotta talk.
Oh no, that's it. That's not it. I apologize. This is it right here. How's it going, T. Jones? Thanks for tuning on in. Kalita, thank you for tuning on in. Shout out to the mods. Silver Chef Undefeated. Cheryl's in the building as well.
Peace and love, family.
Hey, listen carefully. Watch this.
She jumped off already. What's up, bro?
Yeah. What's up, Pierre?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Gordy?
No. I look crazy. I just got off of work.
Take a photo. Somebody snap with me in the
Yeah,
corner.
please. No, for real.
I said just go up there, he's cool.
I know.
He gonna rap with you.
No, come on. You guys trying to smile, right? Yeah.
I'll take it over. I'll take it over. Cool.
Yeah, you owe me a picture anyway.
I got you. We almost ready with the school.
She down here hollering. She down here hollering.
He said we're almost ready with the school. He's been saying this for years now. He said that. I mean, anyway.
I said, don't fool this hair.
That man go up there and rap with you.
Listen, I can be natural all day. No, that's not a problem. I love being natural.
I
Okay.
feel you, boy. I feel you.
I don't know what happened to you.
Go up there and rap. She ain't saying nothing now.
But hold on.
She did like this. That's Umar, because I follow him. I'm like, yeah. She said, well, he's so sexy. I said, he's right there. She did what he needs. Let's go up there and rap with her. I start that.
We got to do the floors. Once we do the floor, we want to apply for the certificate of occupancy.
Okay, good.
And if they pass us, we good. If all goes well, we're going to have a grand opening in September.
Okay, and yeah, because
Grand opening in September for the community.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the kids 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he said? I'm going to play it again. You got to listen real carefully what he said. He's so good.
We need the facts. Yeah, we definitely need
Yes,
the facts.
sir.
Hold on one
Yes,
second.
sir. Yes, sir.
Did you ever get with the girl Callie? The one they
Let me rewind now. Watch this.
School.
she down here hollering. She down here hollering.
Listen, don't fool this hair.
That man go up there and rap with you.
Listen, I can be natural all day. No, that's not a problem. I love being natural.
I feel
Okay.
you, boy. I feel you.
I don't know what happened to you.
Go up there and rap. She ain't saying nothing now.
But hold on.
She did like this. That's Umar, because I follow him. I'm like, yeah. She said, well, he's so sexy. I said, he's right there. She did what he needs. Let's go up there and rap with her. I start that.
We got to do the floors. Once we do the floors,
So when we're going to open the school, once we do the floors,
we want to apply for the certificate of occupancy.
then he's going to apply for the certificate of occupancy, even though he said he was going to do that months ago.
Okay, good.
And if they pass us, we good.
If it passes, if, I need. If it passes, then what?
If all goes well, we're gonna have a grand opening in September.
Okay.
If all goes well, we're going to have the grand opening in September of 2025. But watch what he does.
And cause
Grand opening in September for the community.
Yeah.
Grand opening in September for the community. Not the grand opening for the actual school where children are enrolled. You see, now watch what he says next.
We're gonna start with the kids in 1 year.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the kids, and he's basically saying in 1 year. We're going to start with the kids. So what this means is that Umar has pushed back the grand opening date. Instead of it being September, and we already told people he was going to do this, and I just thought it was going to be a little bit later on in the year. But instead of saying that this grand opening with the children is September of 2025, he's saying that there's going to be a community grand opening, and that would be where, and I told you he's going to do this, that the community can come and see the school. He actually said that in 2019, that they were going to be able to do that in 2019. Y'all know that? I can pull it up. But now the community comes out to see the finished school after it's passed his inspection, a certificate of occupancy, et cetera. None of that's going to happen either. And so in September, they're going to come, and that's when they're going to do the grand opening for the community to come and see the building. But then he's going to start with the children, where school actually opens officially in September of 2026. Somebody had mentioned that Umar, he stated that, yeah, I don't want to give any more dates. He did that with the good twin, bad twin interview. But he's been given dates. Matter of fact, let me do this. We got time. Let me let this play. I'm going to go pull something else up. So it's official, Cookie Crush Chat. Umar has changed the grand opening date for the school, the actual school, to open with children being enrolled to September of 2026. This is what you call a long con. Let me let the rest of this play. Let me go pull up this receipt.
And what grades you going to?
Yes, if we get approved in time, we're going to do the fest.
Now he's talking about the festival.
Yes, sir.
It ain't going to happen.
Yes, sir.
If we get approved in time. See, nothing's ever set in stone. He posted on his Instagram page that they were going to have another block party. But you hear what he says here? Let me rewind this. I'm gonna let it play because I need about a minute.
What's going on, gorgeous?
No. I look crazy. I just got off of work.
Take a photo. Somebody snap with me in the
Yeah,
corner.
please. No, for real.
I said just go up there, he'll cool.
I know.
He gonna rap with you.
No, come on. You got something smaller, right? Yeah.
I'll take it over. Cool.
Yeah, you owe me a picture anyway.
I got you. We almost ready with the school.
She down here hollering. She down here hollering.
Don't fool this hair.
This man go up there and rap with it.
Listen, I can be natural all day. That's not a problem. I love being natural. Okay,
I feel you, boy. I feel you.
I don't know what happened to you.
Go up there and rap. She ain't saying nothing now.
She
did like this. That's Umar, because I followed her. I'm like, yeah. She said, well, he's so sexy. I said, he's right there. She did one of these. Let's go up there and rap with her. I start that.
We got to do the floors. Once we do the floors, we want to apply for the certificate of occupancy.
Okay, good.
And if they pass us, we good. If all goes well, we're going to have a grand opening in September.
Okay, and because the city.
Grand opening in September for the community.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the kids in 1 year.
Yeah.
Man, this
What
guy.
grades you going to?
Yes, if we get approved in time, we're going to do the fest.
Oh, we need the fest. Yeah, we definitely need
Yes,
the fest.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you ever give it the girl Callie, the one that tried to do the podcast? I gave her a number to California, Simone. I stopped by, hollered at you, but
Did she text me? Do you know?
I think she texted.
If she texted me, I responded. But I don't think I heard back from her.
Yeah, she tried to get you on podcast.
Because I was just over there.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Because she's supposed to get Angie Stone, but Angie Stone passed
Passed
away.
on. Is she in LA?
Yeah, she in LA.
Because I'm going to be in LA for Juneteenth, Sunday,
Okay.
June 22nd. So tell her to text me. I might be able to link it in.
Okay, she outside. She in Ontario, California. That's like.
Oh, she a few hours away.
Okay, I want to point something out real quick. There is a poll question too, by the way. Let me read this to you guys. We're going to go for maybe about 2 hours. I got a little bit of time here. I'm not in any type of a rush today. Just had to do this live stream earlier today because my son has a band concert. The poll question, this is just dealing with him changing the date. It's official, so it can be stated that he's changed the date. I'm paraphrasing here. Is anyone surprised? Are you surprised that Umar Johnson actually changed the date? Okay, let me go in here. I need to pull this up. Give me 1 second. Let me see what the poll, where we're at with the poll. And then I'm going to pull something else up because someone had mentioned this earlier. Okay, the poll question is, are you surprised that Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to September 2026? We have so far we have 185 votes, 187 votes. 95% say no, that they're not surprised, and 5% say yes. Okay, so get your vote in as we do this live stream. We're at 75 likes. Let's see if we can get to 500 during this live stream. That's always the goal. We'll see how it works. Someone said, yeah, it keeps changing. The grand opening date keeps changing, but I want to play something for you all. This is an interview of Umar from 2020, January of 2020, on the Good Twin, Bad Twin podcast. Check this out.
Information does not replace psychosis. Black people are psychologically disturbed. You have to.
Yeah, this is Umar when he's having withdrawal symptoms. You'll see him scratching and stuff. He's very agitated. You can also look in his face. You can tell. I can always tell by his eyes.
Put us through a system of psychological restoration and rehabilitation, just like we was put through a system of psychological indoctrination and self-hatred. A process made the Negro. Not a classroom, but a process. It was school plus socialization. It was school plus dehumanization, not just schooling. You see that? So we have to be able to put ourselves through the same process. The problem is what? I can't force you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I want to play some of this too right here. I've been looking for it. I just happened to run across it just now. There's something he says in here. It just goes to show you how batshit crazy he is.
Grown man, how can I come to you and say, listen, you're about to do this for 365 days to get your mind back? I have no control over your life. Children, we can control them because they're under our responsibility. So I believe in what Frederick Douglass said, and that is it's better to raise strong children than to repair broken men. So for me and what I've learned in all these years of being in the field of psychology and education, I'm more focused on the children than I am on the adults. Because something about the brain is like a computer. You get you a laptop and that laptop get a virus in it. Even if you get that virus out, it never works the same. The human mind is no different. The black consciousness is, once that Willie Lynch is there, once that white Jesus, once that white people look better than us, once that Africa is a monkey kingdom, once you put that in that mind, you can never be certain whether that virus is totally out or not. So for me, it's about taking the children who've never been processed and making them the African revolutionaries and freedom fighters that we need.
Let me get through here.
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Please send your donations to FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware 19809. I repeat, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware 19809. You can also donate on your Cash App at $FDMG School. That's cash.me/$FDMG School. We have a 4-building campus in Wilmington, Delaware that includes 2 schools. We purchased February of this year, but we now need to raise the funds to restore that school and start educating our young black boys. Support FDMG, Black Power.
Appreciate the update too, because a lot of times people say, well, what you doing, and the sad part about it is, well, why you need to know that if you ain't helping, but I appreciate you even sharing that information.
No problem.
How's it going today?
All is well. Glad to be back in Jackson. This is my 10-year anniversary, counting from 2010, when I went international in the conscious movement. So to me, it's very surreal, very reflective. 10 years of doing this on the international level, 20 overall. And so now we're going into a new decade. And so I'm just excited. We got the school, so I'm very much looking forward to making a transition from consciousness raising through the lectures to institution building with the school. So it's a natural next step for me to start building instead of just spreading the information.
That's what's up. So in terms of ETA, estimated time, what do you think that looks like?
There is no ETA because I don't know how long it's going to take y'all to give me the money to fix the school up.
What are you thinking?
It's $1 million to restore the campus. Okay. And until the campus is restored, it would be irresponsible.
Okay, Umar's saying it's $1 million to restore the campus, but he had $1 million back at the end of 2016. He spent $400,000 to acquire. He should have been sitting on roughly $600,000, and then he collects money from 2017 through 2020. Man, he should have had more. He should have had money to at least start. He should have been sitting on $600,000 in February of 2019. That's more than enough to get started. But he didn't start until a year and a half later because he had ran through all that other money. See, he's a con man.
For me to give a date.
Okay.
And he's saying that it's irresponsible for him to give a date, but he's given many, many dates. In fact, he just changed the grand opening date to September of 2026.
Give me the money to fix the school up.
What's
So,
what are you thinking?
It's $1 million to restore the campus.
Okay.
And until the campus is restored, it would be irresponsible for me to give a date.
Okay. Right.
School got to be restored. I mean, the best part of this whole process is we have the school.
Right.
And we have a school that has enough space in it that not only would it serve as a learning institution, but it will also serve as a Black community organizing headquarters. So once we're open, I anticipate that our lights will never go off. There's so much that we can do, will do, and can't wait to do. So the timeline is up to the people, but we.
All right. Now I want to play something for you just to give you guys an example of Umar. And the video is actually longer than what I thought, but I'm going to play it anyway. We have time. Again, Umar, he's saying that he doesn't want to give a date, but he's been given dates since 2000. The first date he gave was grand opening date was 2013. He stated that in 2010. I'm going to play a segment from the documentary that I'm working on. Members have already seen it. I'm going to play that now. We have some time. Night Prowler says Umar pushing the opening back like the GTA release date. Yeah. And this has been going on. A lot of people don't realize it. He's been pushing the date back since 2014, and he's been given dates since 2010. So when he gets on the Good Twin, Bad Twin podcast, he's saying that it'd be irresponsible for him to give dates, but he's been given dates for now. At this point now, it's been over a decade. Furthermore, I want to play real quick. I want you guys to hear what Umar Johnson says because he already has an out for this. If you guys listen carefully, watch this.
We have the school, we own it flat out. It is ours. So half of the victory is already there.
Let's say kudos.
We now just have to restore.
Say kudos. So no curriculum is happening at the school.
What do you mean no curriculum?
Because you can't, because physically.
Yeah, physically the building got to be restored. So the school is empty.
Right.
Until we get it restored. We got to get the electric done, the HVAC done, the plumbing has to be redone. The school is in beautiful structural shape.
That's not true. Look at him. And he looks so smoked out.
If you walk through it right now, you would say to yourself, well, how much does it need? Because everything is still intact. It was a
Don't make me pull up the video where he shows the inside. It looked horrible.
modern charter school that closed down a couple years ago. Excellent shape. The reason it needs the repairs is because it was vandalized the 4 years while it was closed. If it was not vandalized, it would be move-in ready. Literally, we would have moved in and just opened up class. But if that were the case, I probably would not have been able to afford it.
See him scratching? That's the withdrawal.
The $750,000 we raised would not have been enough to purchase it. We still didn't have enough. They wanted well over $1 million, but I just stayed on them and stayed on them and stayed on them. And after 18 months, they finally decided to sell.
See, notice he didn't say how much he acquired these buildings for. He's never stated it.
It to me, I couldn't believe it. So
see him scratching? Look. Yeah, Umar, he's in 3 stages at any given time. He's either regular, he's having withdrawal symptoms where he's fiending, or he's high.
I couldn't believe it. So it was divine intervention that we even have it because we still didn't have enough money for it.
I'm glad that it's open.
Yes, yes.
You're well on to your phases of
restoring it and then operations, acquisition, restoration, operation.
Okay, so what are some other goals besides the school?
Well, in addition to the school, we're working on a Black Wall Street, West Africa project.
He's bullshitting. He just be making up shit on the spot.
I was given 50 acres of land in Ghana, and I want to replicate what we're doing in Wilmington, Delaware, in West Africa. So I want to build an FDMG on the continent, an FDMG here, which is Delaware, and then we can have an exchange program, and the children can go back and forth. So can the teachers do that?
Well, I wish I could interview the Good Twin Brad team. Black Anonymous had asked earlier at the opening of the show, are you still open to interviewing former Umar supporters? Yes, I am. Yeah, and if there are any former Umar Johnson followers that would be interested in being interviewed, you can email me at LenonHonor@yahoo.com. And there's plenty of them out there. I mean, some of you guys in the chat room, you were used to support Umar.
So everything I'm doing in America, I want to also do in Africa, because it's Pan Africanist. We don't believe that you ignore your domestic struggle. I still have an obligation to my people here, but I also see the larger struggle, and that is doing what we need to do for ourselves permanently on the continent, because anything you build here, they can take it. Once FDMG is up and running, I'm going to automatically have to start thinking about how long before I need to repatriate to the continent. Because if my school does what it is born to do, and it will, I'm going to be too much of a threat. Just like with Black Wall Street, you got to know how long you got on your lease before you get the hell out of Dodge.
See that he already has an exit strategy. This video is from 2020, and he stated that he doesn't want to give any more dates, but he's been giving dates since 2010, and he just changed the grand opening date last month. We just didn't catch, at least I didn't catch it because I didn't watch the whole video. He changed it to September of 2026. Okay. The poll question right now: are you surprised that Umar has changed the grand opening date to September of 2026? And we're talking about the grand opening where the school is fully functional, fully furnished, faculty and staff, students are enrolled, and they're teaching in there. Right. Now, I want to take some time to play a segment from the documentary. And thanks, Night Pop. Listen, Umar Johnson followers have been waiting for this fake school since at least 2010. Umar was talking about it before then. He said he conceptualized it in 2004. So there's people who've been waiting. There's this young guy. He was talking about how he said he was 14 when he did the video, something like that. But how he heard about the school like 6 years prior, and this video I think was from 2020. So I mean, there's people who've been waiting for a very long time. It's like waiting on GTA, right? It's true. But Umar, the difference is GTA is going to come out at some point. There will never be a functional accredited school with Umar, because Umar, his whole objective is to string this along as long as possible to continue to get money out of people, so that he can continue to get money, so that he can get to the plug at the end of the day. That's all this comes down to. Thank you for the super chat, Night Prowler. This is Common Sense says, when they cut off his PayPal for fraudulent activity, he's done. Yeah, he's already struggling right now. He's having a very difficult time right now because they shut down his Cash App because of fraud. I remember when they shut down his PayPal the first time. Umar, he's used other platforms too. He had a GoFundMe that got shut down because of fraud. He made a lot of money on there in a very short period of time, over $400,000. They shut that down and they started issuing refunds. See? So once the Cash App gets shut down, because after GoFundMe, he was on some other fund transfer service. I can't remember what it was, but he was only on there for a little while. Then he gets the Cash App, and I would say over the last 6 years, that's been the main source of money being brought in for Umar. It's been through Cash App, and it's easy. You know, he can get a Cash App card. It's like a debit card, and he just would use that to buy stuff, use that to travel. But it's money that's supposed to be going towards opening up a school. It's supposed to be going towards renovations. And you would think that he would also be saving some of that money for operation costs, but he hasn't done any of that. Once that gets shut down, all he has left now is PayPal, and because he got the PayPal reinstated at a certain point, he has PayPal and he has P.O. Box. That's a huge cut into this scam in terms of the financial, the bringing in money. GoFundMe gets shut down, Cash App gets shut down. If PayPal gets shut down, all Umar will have is a P.O. Box. He set up Zelle, but then I've also heard him say, don't send no money through Zelle. Because listen, you can only get away with this for so long, and different platforms, they have some platforms are stricter than others. Some they're going to let you get away with it for a little while, and then they'll check you, they'll cancel your account because of fraud. Some they'll let you go on for a long time, like Cash App. But if the PayPal gets shut down, what is Umar going to do then? P.O. Box only? That's what he started with, was P.O. Box. That's all he had in the beginning. He had P.O. Box. He did have a PayPal account, even though he told people that he didn't, but he wasn't promoting the PayPal to get donations for this FDMG school scam. I have the video from 2014 when he's dressed in a suit and he's talking about getting on the P.O. Box. And then later on, people were saying, hey, listen, why don't you set up a GoFundMe so that we can do this electronically? He sets up a GoFundMe. Crazy money coming through GoFundMe. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then he gets the Cash App. That gets shut down. GoFundMe gets down. Cash App gets shut down. Now these days, all he's left with is the PayPal and the PO box. Once the PayPal gets shut down, then what is he going to do then? That's what I'm saying. Time is running out with this guy, and Umar knows that. That's why these days he's so desperate for money. He'll go up there doing nothing and just trying to get people to send him money. He's gotten so sloppy with this shit, and see, because he doesn't have the money, he don't have the money for the plug, and it fucks with his mind. Because he can't get the substance to get himself high, so his mentals really go nuts. You can follow me on this shit. He's getting sloppy with this shit. Because I have the video where he's live streaming for no damn reason up at these abandoned buildings, and the plug walks through FDMG, comes out of FDMG. Why is Umar outside live streaming? Because he doesn't want to do a direct hand-to-hand drop-off. What he does, he leaves the door open, and I can pull up the video. Don't make me do it. He leaves the door open, unlocked, so the plug can come through, drop off, and the drop-off spot is inside of, out of all places, what Umar calls the teacher's lounge. And the plug drops it off and accidentally locks the door. And then Umar, he's live streaming. You see the plug come out, and Umar abruptly ends the live stream. He's done it in the past, though, too, because he's waiting on that plug to come through. We're like, why did he stop the live so quick? Well, now we know why. And then Umar goes in and he starts live streaming again. Why is he live streaming again? He already got what he needed. See, he's live streaming in the first place because he wants people to send him money. But see, he gets in there and he realizes that the door is locked, and he freaks out because he's fiending for that shit. Don't make me pull it up. You're dealing with a Pan Africanist Pookie. Real talk. This is not hyperbole either. I'm not even trying to clown him because it's quite sad at this point. You Umar Johnson followers, you're enabling this dope fiend. And so Umar, because he can't get to the substance, he starts wilding out. He's live streaming. He starts going crazy, shaking on the doorknob. I can't get into the... Don't make me pull it up. He has to call a locksmith. For what? What's the big deal? It ain't no school, ain't no children, ain't no faculty, ain't no staff, ain't no teachers in the teachers lounge. What you got to get in there for so bad? Well, because he need to get what the plug dropped off for him. See, that's why he's so desperate. And he listen, after that Cash App gets shut down, he don't got the money to get to the plug, so he got to do any and everything. And he's getting sloppy with the shit. He's gonna get sloppier too, I guarantee. Well, mark my words. Mark my words. I played the video for members too earlier, where Umar, he was up there with Brother Manny, rest in peace. And Umar was talking about the drug paraphernalia that they left, because Umar didn't realize he was still live streaming, and he was asking Brother Manny, rest in peace, whether or not he had picked up the 2 lighters from what we were burning up in there. Huh? I told people a long time. I told people in 2019 it was a kicking spot. So Umar, he come through, he kick it, he blaze up. And then now he got to set it to the plug, just do the drop off. He don't even got to touch the plug, they drop off nothing. He leaves the door open. I can pull it up and show it to you all. So this all to say that if the PayPal gets shut down, Umar's going to be in. That's it. What's he going to do then? PO box only? Yeah. See, PO box is not enough for Umar to get money coming through in order for him to have enough money when he needs the money to get to the plug. It's not enough. See, people think that it's about opening up. He ain't got shit to do with opening up. He don't care about no black boys. He don't care about his own kids. What y'all talking about? At the end of the day, what this comes down to is a dope fiend trying to get money out of black people so that he can get to the plug, and he uses the school as the prop to sell you all a pipe dream, excuse the pun, to sell you a pipe dream that y'all buy into, that you, excuse the pun, you send money to as you buy into. But you ain't doing nothing but sending money to a black conscious Pan-African Pookie. Real talk. Right? I don't even get it. Listen, if GoFundMe shut him down, see, ask the question. If he was in good standing with GoFundMe, why didn't he just set up a no GoFundMe account? He did, because they shut him down because of fraud. What does that tell y'all? Right? If PayPal shut him down in the past, what does that tell y'all? He got another PayPal set up after, a couple of years later, but he got shut down from PayPal too. If CashApp shuts him down, what does that tell you? If the state of Pennsylvania issued a cease and desist letter to Umar, I can't remember what year that was. I want to say 2022. Yeah, 2022, maybe. Yeah, 2022, 2023. Y'all gonna look it up online. If they issue and I can pull it up, a cease and desist and telling him that he can no longer collect donations as a nonprofit entity in the state of Pennsylvania. What does that tell y'all? That's why Umar stopped using the P.O. box in Philadelphia. He started using the one more and more, start promoting more and more the one in Wilmington, Delaware. See, everything is there. It's all red flags over and over again. And yet Umar Johnson follows you continue to believe. And not only do you continue to believe, you don't realize that at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're enabling a Pookie. And it's really that simple. He's a fraudster. Thanks. This is common sense. Brian says, hat, cock, ace, deuce. Yeah, and this is y'all paper. Yeah, this is y'all's principle. So that's the thing with Umar. Remember, he went on that SETI rant, Brian. He was talking about how SETI dress all, like a teenager or whatever. Look how Umar's dressed. Why do you have a fitted cap on, cock to the side, and a green dashiki on? What's going on here? See, Umar suffers with the identity crisis. He don't know if he's a black conscious figure, or if he's a rapper, or if he's a thug. He's all over the place with it. God think I don't know. It's just Umar. He's all over the place. He's supposed to be a principal and looking like this. I meant to mention this earlier for the members live stream. Shout out to all the members. How there's Umar, because he said something about professionalism. Umar, there's nothing professional about Umar, including how he dresses. Some people will say, well, it shouldn't matter. No, it matters if you're going to be opening up a school for all black boys, and then you have all of these stringent guidelines that black people have to adhere to in order to be part of the clique, if you will, of the Umar Johnson cult. And yet you present yourself in this way. The standards that Umar sets, and cult leaders, they do this. The standard they set for their cult members is much greater and much higher than the standards that they adhere to themselves. But look at Umar. See? Y'all go and look at when he was on DJ Vlad, because he be talking about how rappers be having gold chains and bling bling. He had his own little bling bling. Well, he didn't have no money. He ain't got no job. Where he get the money for? But that's for the donors' money to get that bling bling. I don't know how much it would cost. Anybody want to go look? Go, someone who knows about that kind of shit. Go on over to DJ Vlad, type in Umar Johnson, DJ Vlad. That's the one where he was all humble and shit. Yes, sir, because he was with the white man. Well, he's Jewish, but it's the Russian Jew. But the point is that Umar was all sedity and shit. Yes, sir, yes, sir. If anybody knows about that jewelry and the bling, go and look and go give us a ballpark figure on how much a little bling, because he had a little thing on. That's probably all he could afford. But he's trying to play the part because that's supposed to be all hip hop and shit. See, give us a rough figure on how much you think that little bling costs. Well, the point is he ain't got no money. He don't got no job. Where the money coming from that he spent on that? Well, it's coming from you donors. See, it's supposed to be all principle, and he pooped out with the hat cocked to the side. Thanks, Brian, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Cloud said, excuse me, I spit. I apologize. Cloud said, new fan here. I heard Umar was in the UNIA before. He's a big follower of Marcus Garvey. Why doesn't he just do the school thing through the UNIA? Because the UNIA, they don't fuck with him. And I can pull it up. In 2020, I believe it was the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024. What do they call that? The President General put out a memo for all of the organizations, basically stating, "Don't fuck with Umar." Y'all want me to pull it up? Umar did his resignation letter in 2005. They didn't fuck with him back then. See, Umar. Let's go there. Let's go, because we got some time. What we got? We got about an hour and a half. Okay, let's go there. It just goes to show you Umar's burned so many bridges, and he's been trying to scam since at least 2005. So I'm going to type in here, and I'll get to these other super chats. But let's just get into this real quick. I'm going to type in here. Did anyone go and check on someone? If you know about the bling bling, go to DJ Vlad. Type in DJ Vlad Umar Johnson and see where he's sitting down. I think he has on a white shirt. And look at that little bling bling, and give me a ballpark figure on what y'all think. Even if someone sees this later on, after this is archived, go on and put it inside of the comment section for this live stream. All right. I'm going to type in Umar Johnson. I covered this inside the documentary. Umar Johnson, UNIA. I also have the timeline. I'm gonna pull all this up. We're gonna get into this real quick. It's gonna take about 20 minutes. We're gonna get into this. I'll even pull up the President General, what he had to say about Umar. Let me do a screen share right quick. Here's the timeline that I'm working on for the documentary. What is going on? Oh, I can't put it. I got to remove this one first. Let me take this one out of here. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So thanks for Super Chat, Cloud Strife. I'm going to take the time to address all this, and I won't get to everything, but I'll get to enough to where what you're talking about it'll shed more light on this. Okay. Let me actually read this again. So Cloud Strife Sonic 12040 says, new fan here. I heard Umar was in the UNIA before, and he's a big follower of Marcus Garvey. Why doesn't he just go do the school thing through the UNIA? Okay, watch this. So here's Umar Johnson's birth in 1974. He goes to the Scotland School for Veterans Children. He shipped off by his father Jamal in 1987, around 1987, at the age of 13. He starts his freshman year in college in 1992. Okay, then he's in college from 1992 to 2012. Okay, so he's in college for 20 years. He finally gets his PsyD at PCOM in 2012 at the age of 38. But if we go and we look in here, what we'll see is that 1992, he's at Millersville. This was an article where basically Umar snitched on this person that robbed the bank. Okay, we ain't gonna get into that right now. That's in 1993. Umar, I've heard him say that he joins the Garvey movement in Philadelphia and that he joined in 1995. I heard him say 96. I heard him say 97. Okay, so y'all can pick which one you want. It's not really all that relevant, but the point is that he starts in, let's just say 1996. In around 1996, he starts in the Garvey movement. He's also stated that he wasn't consistent because he was in college. In fact, he graduates from Millville University with a double major, which is not 2 degrees, it's 1 degree. He counts it as 2 degrees. That's why he says he has 6. He has 5. Nothing wrong with having 5, but Umar, he has to exaggerate shit. That's the narcissism. And he starts in the Garvey movement in and around 1997. Okay, so at the age of 23. But then he goes to Heinemann University for just a little bit, and then he returns back to Millsville University. But he's not consistent inside of the Garvey movement at this time. Okay, in around 1998. All right, he rejoins the UNIA because again he's in graduate school in 1998. He rejoins in 2000, in the year 2000, and that's when he meets his first baby mama, who was 21 at the time. Okay, he starts his 1-year internship in the year 2000. To become a school psychologist in the state of Philadelphia. Okay, that's in 2000. He's still mingling a little bit inside of as a member of the UNIA at this time. Okay, he starts working in the Philadelphia School District from 2001. He works here from 2001 until 2006. Then he starts in charter schools from 2007 through 2008. By 2010, he gives up his career as a school psychologist and he starts on the lecture scene inside of the Black conscious space. And his child is this would be his second child is born, I believe, in 2010, 2011. Anyway, he's put on child support in 2002 by his first baby mama. Is that right? Yeah, 2002, because he meets him. Yeah. Anyway, what I'm going to get to is that by the time he gets his Master's of Science, and he was there at PCOM for 8 years total, going on with 2012, he gets his Master's of Science at PCOM in 2004. He conceptualizes FDMG in 2005. He also wants to do the Umar Johnson Boy Scout program. And this is when Umar leaves Islam and he also leaves the UNIA. Okay, you see that date? 2005. So we could say, based upon my research, and this is based on Umar Johnson's own words, that Umar, he starts in the UNIA in around 1996, and then he leaves the UNIA in 2005. So it's about a 9-year stint. We can extend that to 10. Let's just say 9 years. Well, let's just say a decade, just so we can just remember it easier that way. That it was about a 10-year stint, on and off. But in 2005, something happens. And the question becomes, what happened in 2005? Okay, because this gets back to, and this speaks to what you're bringing up here. Why doesn't Umar just do the school through the UNIA? Well, what happened in 2005? Okay. You guys can look this up yourself. You can look up Umar Johnson, UNIA, and this article will come up from the Negro World. Here it is right here. This is from August 17th. Look at the date, 2005. The Minister of Education resigns. He says a secret campaign against him and plotting of parent body members. Sabotage. See, this is the Umar. He's always been like this. He thinks everyone's out to get him. But let's see what Umar was involved in. And this is Umar's telling of, this is what he wrote, and they just published it. But this is Umar's telling of the events. Okay, Umar's side of the story. I'm going to give you guys an alternative version of what took place, because when we hear Umar talk about what happened with his baby mamas, he has all kind of shit he said and he's making up because he wanted to present this false narrative. I will propose that this is a false narrative to here but they published it anyway. But because of this false narrative and what Umar was involved with trying to scam the UNIA back in 2004, 2005. That's why they don't fuck with him in 2025. Okay, we're going to go deeper into this. Check this out. This is Umar. This is what he writes. He says, I hope this email finds you all in the best of health and enjoying these final weeks of the summer season. As for me, I am still daydreaming about the blessed tour that I just returned from 11 days ago. I hope to have my pictures for all to see at the upcoming convention. There will be over 1,400 pictures. He always exaggerates shit. And I'm actively trying to find a couple of photo albums large enough to accommodate these pictures. You're going to a couple for 1,400? Cut it out. I now see why everyone goes digital. See, he's not even digital at this time in 2005. Now I will get back to the, so he's going to print all these anyway. Now I will get back to the purpose of this email nearly 1 year ago. Okay, so we're talking about 2004. I was asked by the Honorable President General Redmond Battle to assume the post of Minister of Education. Yeah, he was involved with the UNIA. Okay, he was there for about 10 years altogether. I didn't ask for the position, but gladly accepted it as an opportunity to help contribute to the uplift of our race on a more direct and universal scale. However, since my appointment, I have had to face some shocking realities, chief among which was the fact that my position was supposed to be primarily ceremonial and symbolic, with me doing only what was asked when extremely necessary. As a supreme workhorse, as lazy as Umar's ass is, he's an ultimate time waster. As a supreme workhorse, being limited by others people's perceptions of what the ministry should and should not do, with no constitutional provisions until recently, which were very limiting, I forged ahead and decided, since my constant request for a financial budget. What? He was constantly requesting a financial budget. So he's constantly requesting what? Funds. But for what exactly? Because he does that with the school, right? With FDMG. His constant request for a financial budget went unheard, even though approved at the Executive Council meeting. I decided to spend my own funds for the benefit of the ministry, the race, and the UNIA ACL. I highly doubt that, because Umar, listen, he don't, if he can get money for free and don't have to spend it his own, he ain't got no money nowadays. He's basically a broke bum. Although I have been a member of the Great Association for 8 years, I have never been reimbursed or subsidized for a single cent that I have spent on behalf of the UNIA ACL, locally, nationally, or internationally. It will be stated that I have never asked for funds or never sought to raise them. Yeah, but that's not true, Umar, because you just said that you were persistently asking for funds. Right? But look what he says. This is totally untrue. Okay, but why you say the shit then? For the just a few, because see, this is the crux of all of this, is him asking for funds and trying to raise funds. But for what exactly? He says this is totally untrue. For just a few months ago, the membership of Division 121, which is in Philadelphia, approved the budget as part of the Building Redemption Initiative. A Building Redemption Initiative? Okay, that's what you call renovations. Now are you guys starting to see how this all fits? This is 2005. He's doing the same shit today in 2025, 20 years later. See, Umar stating that there was a building redemption initiative that I had developed, that Umar developed in an attempt to renovation, the second and third floors of the Thomas W. Harvey Hall, which is in Philadelphia. Despite this budget being approved, I was grudgingly given a check that was returned to me by my bank and marked insufficient funds, which meant NSF, which meant insufficient funds. I was told by the customer service center that there was not enough funds in the divisional account, or someone named on the account chose to cancel the check. The check was for $328. What are you going to do with $328? See, it's not adding up. What is Umar going to do with a check for $328? How will we not have that much money in our divisional coffers? That's what I'm saying. I don't even believe the story that he's telling here. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna give you an alternative version, because Umar paints false narratives. That's what he does. $328. How could we not have that much money in our divisional coffers is beyond me, as this was not the first act of treachery that I have faced during my sojourn with Division 121. I have decided to write a letter to the membership. He's a troublemaker. Of Division 121, expressing my concerns regarding the treatment and dishonesty that I have been receiving ever since I was elected third vice president several years ago. Incidentally, this sabotage, he's the victim, right? This sabotage increased when I was recently elected first vice president, receiving each and every vote from the membership, save two, the nominee and the nominator. Anyhow, before presenting my letter to the body, I went to the President General. Okay, that's the guy who's head, to conference with him about my intentions. The President General is the head of the whole UNA. In fact, Marcus Garvey was the President General at a certain point. This took place several months ago before elections. He told me I could not reveal the letter at the business meeting because I did not have his blessing. Because Umar's a troublemaker. What Umar was trying to do he was attempting to seize power and control. He wanted the elders to be put to the side, and he wanted to put himself as the President General, and then have the younger generation follow him. I have people who were around at that time, and I've talked with them firsthand accounts about what Umar was doing. That's why I don't fuck with him even in 2025. See, I told him I did not like the fact that he doesn't support my work and that he assassinates my character. Sounds familiar? Didn't he say this about his daughter? Before other members of the division, he threatened to strip me of the ministry and to expel me from the UNIA if I showed the letter. See, they were going to kick him out anyway. And it's not just because of the letter, it's because he was causing all types of problems. He's a troublemaker. I told him I had a constitutional right to do so, but he insisted on his position. Ultimately, I was allowed to show my letter, probably because I would have risked expulsion and done so anyway. They were going to expose him anyway. The membership that evening were in the support of my charges, with many, including elders, also stating that they could feel the lack of support for me by the President General and his sidekick, Johnny Strifle All Progress Gossip. Okay, I highly doubt that this is true. Okay. I only share this one incident because there are many stories that I can share, because I want you to know that I'm speaking from my heart and soul with the whole truth, all the truth, and nothing but the truth. But Umar, he's a known pathological liar. Umar went on and says, I respect President General, and despite what others say, whenever he has needed me personally or professionally, I have been there. Anyway, this goes on and on and on. Okay, when you have some time, you guys can take a look at it. This is Umar's account. What is more probable is that Umar got a hold of some checks, because this, what was it, $323, and he tried to write a check. That's more probable. Or that he found a way to have someone write him a check that wasn't sanctioned. That's more probable. Why would they write him a check for 320, whatever it was, it's $328 to renovate a building? See, the story doesn't make sense. It's more probable that Umar figured out a way to try to scam them out of a certain amount of money. It probably was more than $328, but this is the narrative that he's spinning here. Now, if this wasn't a big deal, someone will say, yeah, well, if he did that, then wouldn't they just press charge against him? Not necessarily, because in the Black conscious space, oftentimes when people are engaged in this type of behavior, they don't want to get the police involved. They want to keep things hush-hush and deal with it internally. Okay. Now, this is Umar's account. I would really like to hear the account from the people that were there. Now, I've spoken with people who were in the UNIA at this time when Umar was in the UNIA. And what they've told me was that Umar, he was always trying to seize control. He was always trying to seize power because he wanted to gain access to the coffers. He wanted to get to the money. Okay, so the story that he's telling here, I don't believe it at all. The point is that he was a troublemaker and they were going to expel him anyway. But Umar puts in a resignation as a preemptive tactic before they was going to kick him out, so that it looks as if he's the one that's being persecuted and they're treating him unjustly. But that's what narcissists do. See? So to get back to what the individual was asking before, and I put in you guys can look this up right here. Okay, this is the link if you guys want to go and take a look at this. You can read the rest of it when you have some time. And by the way, at the bottom, Umar, he says, your brother, he signs it, Umar Abdullah Johnson, the modern day Malcolm X. See, narcissism. So this is in 2005. Let me pull up a video of Umar in around this time. Let's do that. I was gonna play this. We'll get to this in another time. But let me pull up the video. And this is the oldest video that I've been able to find of Umar Johnson. A recording. It could be 2000. It could be 2004. It could be 2006. But it was in around 2005. That's in around time he put in his resignation letter. Check this out.
Abdullah Johnson, and I'm a member of the organization founded by the Right Excellent Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Universal Negro Improvement Association.
See, if he's still a member, this would have to be at latest 2005. Okay, but he's also still stating he was still stating in 2024 that he was a member, but he's not.
I belong to the Philadelphia division. By trade, I'm a school psychologist. And in the city of Philadelphia, I'm the youngest of only 4 black men.
Okay, again, that fits with the timeline, okay, because he does his internship in 2000. He does his internship in He starts working in the school, Philadelphia School District in 2001. He works in the Philadelphia School District from 2001 to 2006. Okay, so what he's saying here is consistent. This video is probably from 2005. It could be 2006. It could be 2004, but I'm going to go with 2005.
Male school psychologist, although Philadelphia is the 5th largest school district in the city, in America, I'm sorry. I actually happen to be a relative of that man hanging on the wall, Frederick Douglass, whose real name was Frederick Bailey, but he changed it to Douglass when he escaped to slavery, which is my family's name. He's actually a blood cousin. But I just want to give you some information that I hope can help you as you help children and families and parents in your communities and in your neighborhoods. School psychology, exactly what is that? The reason you probably don't know is because it was never intended for you to know. School psychologists are the psychologists who are responsible for evaluating children and determining whether or not they have educational disabilities. Any child who's ever been diagnosed as retarded, learning disabled, emotionally disabled.
Yeah, that's more likely that he was misappropriating funds and they cut off his access, just like he's been misappropriating funds for this FDMG school scam since the St. Paul, at least since the St. Paul school scam, which is 2014. See, and thank you for pointing this out. See, the difference is that the UNIA, it has a board of directors or something to that effect. They have checks and balances. They probably have a treasurer. Okay, they have a president. You know, they have all these different positions, but it's about checks and balances. With Umar Johnson and this FDMG school scam, it's just Umar. He doesn't have a board of directors. In fact, on his paperwork, what he says is that there's only one person as a board of directors, and that's him, Umar. So he has all access. He can misappropriate funds, which he's been doing, and there's no consequence for it. There's no checks and balances. With the UNIA, didn't operate that way. This is more likely that he was misappropriating funds, which is consistent with what he's been doing with the FDMG school scam for over a decade now. See, again, Umar has been at the scamming shit since at least 2005. We're talking about at least a 20-year scammer, right?
Disturbed, autistic, as having a traumatic brain injury, or, in a positive note, those who are ever diagnosed as mentally gifted only get that diagnosis from one of us, a school psychologist. Why is this such a problem with black children, and why are so many black children over-identified and misrepresented in special education classes? It's because only 1% of all school psychologists in America are black. 99% of them are white. As with your teachers, only 7% are African American, but only 1% of your school psychologists. Now, right from the back, I want to deal with the drugs, because I think a lot of parents still don't understand exactly what Ritalin is, and what Adderall is, and what Prozac is, and what Zoloft is, and what Strattera is. All of these are synthetic forms of the same illegal drugs you could buy on any inner city street corner. It's very important that you understand that Ritalin.
Notice he's not yelling, he's not repeating shit, he's not sniffing and blinking. Totally different, right? So this is around the time when Umar, he puts in that UNIA letter. Okay, and I think that it's before, because he would have probably mentioned his trip to Africa. His trip to Africa was a turning point. He had a psychotic episode over there in Africa. If people are unfamiliar with the Umar Johnson timeline in his history, and it changed a lot. When he came back, he had this sense of grandiosity. He already had it, but it just got way out of control. So by the time he gets back, what he ends up doing is he had already been causing trouble in the UNIA, but he puts in his resignation letter because they were going to expel him anyway. So I highly suspect that this video is 2005 pre the resignation letter. It could be in 2004, because he's not talking. He didn't mention, at least I didn't hear him mention his trip to Africa, which he's always been proud about it. He would have mentioned it in this case. He's talking about, I'm a descendant of Frederick Douglass, all this other bullshit. Okay. Now we're going to go to get back to what was brought up earlier. Now I'm tying all this together. I'm just kind of doing it in a roundabout way. Okay, Cloud Strife, he's a new fan here. He or she says, I heard Umar was in the UNIA before, and he's a big follower of Marcus Garvey. Yeah, again, he's named these abandoned buildings after Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass being a bunny hopper too, by the way, according to Umar, based on Umar's standard. Okay, Umar wants to be Marcus Garvey. See, he wanted to become the president general of the UNIA. Okay, and in that letter, if you guys take the time to read it, you'll see he actually admits that. Okay, just for time's sake, we're not going to get into all that right now. All right. So why doesn't Umar just do the school thing through the UNIA? Well, because he was already causing problems. They won't kick him out. He put in his resignation in 2005. But look at this. This is from 2024, February 7th of 2024.
I'm going to step out in about 40 minutes. And I guess we just wanted to open the floor with people's opinions on Dr. Umar Johnson. I want to know
and I got the date wrong. This is December 10th of 2023. Okay, I need to correct this inside of my notes.
Local membership, how we feel about Brother Umar Johnson.
Okay, so this is a UNIA division, and I think they actually show which division, and they do. But let me just skip through the part that I want to get to, because what they're doing is they have this conversation about Umar. The question becomes, why are they talking about Umar in the first place? All right, and here we go right here. Check this out.
Your division meeting, we have been directed to have this discussion. On December 7th, 2023, this letter was put out, and it's primarily from our President General, Michael R. Duncan.
See, Michael Duncan, President General.
Sorry about that. Again, this is the official position of the High Executive Council of the UNIA.
December 7th, 2023.
ACL states, I understand that members have questions about the official. Hold on. Please mute your lines. I'll mute some lines. I understand that members have questions about the official UNIA position on Brother Dr. Umar Abdullah Johnson. First, let me make it clear that we, the UNIA and ACL, always have the uplift of our people as our foundation. It is not our intention to denigrate any Black person. However, we must do all that we can to protect this great organization from any threat without or within. Our goal as a government is the upliftment and liberation of Black people the world over and the redemption of Mother Africa. Brother Umar Johnson was a member of the Thomas W. Harvey Memorial Division in Philadelphia under President General Redmond Battles.
Yeah, remember Umar, he references Battles, right? Inside the UNIA letter back from 2005.
A minister of education and an officer in the division. In 2005, he resigned both positions because, according to him, he was about to be put out or forced to resign. Brother Umar stated in his resignation letter that, quote, even if expelled, I will always be a UNIA member, end quote.
Yeah, let's watch this.
Since that time, Brother Umar has attempted to join other divisions of the UNIA and ACL. He seems to want to skirt the process and do things his way. As a government, we have procedures. You cannot just leave a division in bad or good standing and join another. We have a transfer form that should be used. Someone who was about to be expelled, his words, needs to come before the HEC before being admitted to any division. That person also needs to face the division that he or she wronged.
See that? He or she wronged. See, Umar doesn't tell that in his narrative. Umar was a scammer in 2005. He's a scammer in 2025. And he wronged the UNIA. That's why they don't fuck with him to this day. Understand that this is the President General. This is the head of the UNIA who wrote this letter. Let's continue.
Our current Secretary General did reach out to Brother Umar when the Detroit division said he applied for membership. He did not respond to the meeting dates that were offered. We realize that a big name can bring in people to make our event successful. Nevertheless, there are many prominent Black scholars, entertainers, etc. a division can invite to participate in their programs. The UNIA does not need to depend on Brother Umar Johnson or any other person. Brother Umar and I have been on the same program on several occasions, but he has not once addressed me as the President General or shown me the respect as the leader of the UNIA, the great association he claims to represent.
Okay. See, part of what Umar was doing was he was trying to position himself to take over the Philadelphia division, and he ultimately wanted to, and he says that he alludes to this inside the resignation letter. I just didn't read that part. He wanted to become the President General. See, Umar's always been on the power trip. He wants to be in control of everything, and he wants to skirt the process. That's one of the reasons why Umar he failed as a school psychologist, because he didn't have the patience. He wanted more power and control. And he tells a story. Umar tells a story. I have it in my notes where if he was going back and forth with one of the people who would have been his superior, and his superior was telling him to be patient because in 3 or 4 years you'd be running this whole whatever the organization was. It wasn't an organization, whatever the program was, because dealing in psychology, that he would be running it. But Umar, he didn't have enough patience. He wanted power and control as quickly as possible. He's a megalomaniac as part of the narcissism. Well, he was trying to do the same thing here inside the UNIA.
Need to depend on Brother Umar Johnson or any other person. Brother Umar and I have been on the same program on several occasions, but he has not once addressed me as the President General or shown me the respect as the leader of the UNIA, the great association he claims to represent, claims to respect. I do not hold this against him. If the brother wants to return to the UNIA the correct way, we are happy to work with him. Until Brother Umar decides to do right by the UNIA, we ask all divisions to avoid using him for your events. He should not make money off the UNIA without showing respect to the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. Race First and Garveyism, One God, One Aim, One Destiny. Michael R. Duncan, President General and Administrator, UNIA ACL.
All right, there you have it. So Umar had already been causing problems since 2005. That's why he can't work, and they're not willing to work with him either, with the UNIA. See, this makes sense. There's a lot more that I, because inside that article, when you have some time, check out that article, read the whole thing. You can see very clearly what Umar. I think that it was an issue of Umar gaining access to funds, either gaining access to funds that he was not supposed to gain access to, or like someone has said earlier, it's more likely that he was misappropriating funds, because time tells the truth. Here we are with this FDMG school scam, and that's precisely what he's doing. He's been misappropriating funds since at least 2014, at least. All right. Thank you for the super chat. How's it going, Aisha? Aisha says, Lenon, you could open a school before he does, the CashApp Academy of Pan Trollism. Yeah. The thing is that in 2025, if someone wanted to open up a school to reach a vast amount of people, they would just simply do an online school. And it doesn't even have to be certified per se. It could just be content that's put out and people pay a monthly subscription. If Umar had done that from the beginning, he would be a millionaire many times over by now. If he charged $20 a month per family, $20 a month, and he gets 1,000, well, that's $20,000 a month right there. If he gets 5,000, okay, what is that? Let's do some math. Watch this, because and he could scale this. I already talked about this. I have a degree in cybersecurity and computer technology. In Umar's heyday, it would be more difficult for him these days to get, let's say, if he wanted to get 5,000 subscribers. No, actually, he probably could still do that if he did it the right way. But back in the day when he first started this shit, he could have gotten easily 5,000. He could easily got 10,000 people. So let's say 10,000 people. Now let's go with 5,000. Let's say if he had 5,000 people sign up to his website, and he has content up there, and he has people submit their content, and he doesn't pay them. What he does is he promotes their product or their service or their YouTube page, and he buys his own. He doesn't even. Someone else can do it for him, but he spends, let's say, for infrastructure, he spends $20,000 altogether to get everything set up properly. He has the proper website. He buys his own server. Everything is hosted. All the data is hosted on his own server. He's working with Black people. $20,000 easy, no problem, to set up a website and just add content over time, It could be, and in the main page, it has Umar. He's still raising funds to open up a physical academy. He also has, every single week, he has a State of the Union address, and he's sitting at a desk. He has on a tie. He's dressed the part. He has his haircut. He's not looking like a pookie and all smoked out and shit. Okay, he can offer his books and shit that people could buy. People could also sell their products on his website. He gets a cut. Affiliate marketing type shit. Millionaire many times over. Let's say if he just got 5,000 people to sign up at $20 a month. Okay, that's $100,000 a month. Overhead will be minimal because it's all virtual. Let's say if you have someone who's going to run everything for that year, and it's not like there's going to be doing a whole lot of work every single day. Once you get the shit set up, it's just residual. Yeah, okay, we'll pay them $50,000 a year. So there's people that would have done it for free in Umar's heyday. But just 5,000 people at $20 a month, and we're not even talking about all the other money he would be coming in with affiliate marketing, with selling his books, selling his products, selling his lectures, selling his DVDs, whatever, CDs back in the day, because he was selling those too back in the day with .NET and shit. What else? He could be offering consultation services, online consultation services. It becomes a central hub at a certain point. There's all kind of shit he could have done, right? Okay, that's if he just had 5,000 people at $20, and he could have a tier. He can have $5, he can have $10, $20 to gain you different access in terms of the information on the website. He can have a $50 one. See, if Umar played it right, he can also have one for professionals who are school psychologists, and it's just a site for school professionals, and they're posting information about what's going on in the field, and it's all black people, black. He could charge even more for them because they would have more money. But let's say if he scales this over time where he gets to 1,000 people, so he has 1 million followers on Instagram alone. You figure you can always convert you should at least be able to convert 4% of your audience. At least 4%. There should be a conversion rate if you do at bare minimum 4%. Okay. Let's take 1 million. We're going to multiply that by 0.04. That's 40,000. Think about this. That's what I'm saying. And not that he's going to get 40,000 right away, but in his heyday to scale that shit up. And he's running a Facebook page. He's running a YouTube page. He's getting well, he wouldn't even do that because they wouldn't do that for Umar. He's so batshit crazy. He had a YouTube page, but they shut his shit down. He'd tell people he never know. He had a YouTube page. I can pull it up and show y'all where he said he had a YouTube page. But let's say that Umar, he got to 10,000 subscribers for his website, which in his heyday he could have done. And we're just going to say at $20, we're talking $200,000 a month. We're going to multiply that by 12. And now we're talking $2.4 million a year. And let's say if he did this, instead of scheming and scamming for the last decade, let's say he does this for a decade, we're going to multiply that by 10. We're talking $24 million over the last decade. Okay, again, there's a little bit of overhead here. He's going to put some money out for here and there. But what I'm saying is that Umar, conceivably, if he did this right, and if he didn't waste time, if he wasn't always talking about crushing cookies and he wasn't all smoked out and shit, if he was a true professional, he could have used the internet to generate anywhere between 2 million and 24 million. That's on over the course of 10. That's on a higher, anywhere from $2 million to $3 million a year with very little overhead. Okay, he would have to pay some taxes. He could have gotten tax exempt status though too and still done this, and then paid himself. See, through the organization. See, Umar could have been a millionaire a couple of times over by now, right? But that's not what he did. He wants to do, and see, he doesn't want to open up a school. That's the bottom line. But if he was really serious about opening up a school, what he would have done is he would have started with an online academy, scaled it up, and then used the money that he would raise over 2, 3, 4 years to finance an actual physical building. And then keep running the site, because it's all residual. Just keep running the site or have someone else run the shit. And each week again, he does a promo. He does a video with State of the Union, and he's giving updates on the physical school and how much money's been raised and how much money's coming in and how much is generated from the website and all of the residuals that he's getting. The affiliate marketing that he's getting. People could then start paying him to advertise. Advertising space on the website. There'll be pre-roll for the videos where there's advertisers. Now you're really making crazy money. Millions of dollars a year. He could have done that. But he's a prince of Pan Africanism, Pookieism. That's what he is, and that's why he's at where he's at today. See? It's a doggone shame. See? Now, real quick, some people will say, no, in 2025, I don't see him. Yeah, well, 2025 is different. I'm talking about Umar in his heyday when he was selling out venues and he was respected by people. He's turned into a clown show these days, so it's a lot different. But if you go back a decade ago, you go 11, 12, 13 years ago, he could have pulled this off, and by now he would have been a millionaire a few times over, bare minimum. Thanks, Aisha, for the super chat. Galu Prince says Umar was using his Cash App card for hotel, motels, and food donation, gifts. Yeah, see, the Cash App was central to this, especially after the GoFundMe got shut down. See, everything was going through Cash App. You guys remember, he would get online. He would just say, get on your Cash App. Get on. Sometimes he wouldn't even mention PayPal. He was always mentioning Cash App because that was the quickest amount of money, the most amount of money that was coming since the GoFundMe. And then he had a debit card, and he would just use that debit card to live off of. Well, that's money that was supposed to be going towards opening up a school. Remember, Umar also set up a secondary Cash App for himself. He called it the personal one. But see, Umar has a history of mismanaging funds, intermingling funds. And that's precisely why at this point, even though he said renovations were done in 2023, he's still talking about getting floors done. It's 2025, 6 years later. Where'd the money go? See? To his lifestyle. That's where it's gone. All right. Thanks, guys. Present. Perry says, this would be like letting Bernie Madoff continue to collect money or let Lou Pearlman keep managing boy bands. At what point is he criminally charged? I don't know when it's going to happen. See, the thing is that it can't go on forever. See, that there's always a horizon on this stuff. And see, with Umar, he's already 50. So how much longer y'all think that he could manage this, even physically manage this type of shit? It takes a lot of effort to do what Umar is doing. What I'm talking about is putting up this illusion, even going up to these abandoned buildings and acting like he's getting shit done at the age of 50. I mean, how much longer are you going to do that? What about when he's 55, he's 60? Okay, he has some issues with his hip. What I think is his hip. Could be his knee, but I think it's his hip. And he has a very difficult time walking. He has a very difficult time getting around. He's in pain when he leans over. How much longer? And listen, I'm getting older myself. How much? Me and him, we're about the same age. How much longer can he continue with this? There's always a horizon on this stuff. So whether it is that he's criminally charged, or if the wheels just completely fall off this proverbial school scam bus, at some point, it's going to have to end. And then what does Umar do then? See, that's the thing about dope fiends. They don't think into the future. They don't think about, okay, well, where am I going to be 5 years from now? Everything is about the moment. And Umar's been living like this for over a decade. That's another reason why there is no school. See, and even if he opened up a school, now he's saying it's going to open in September of 2026. Even if if he opens up a school, it's not financially viable because he doesn't have the money needed to start with operations, to pay the Falcon and staff, to pay the teachers, pay all the different insurances and everything else that goes in, bus drivers and all this other shit, buses. He don't have money for that. So what is he going to do then? See, but dope fiends don't think that far ahead. What they see is right there in front of them, and what they see is a brick wall with the plug doing like this, holding something. That's it. So whether he's criminally charged, or if the wheels can just fall off completely, whether that is the wheels of this FDMG school scam or the wheels of his personal life, which is in disarray, at some point, the shit's going to really hit the fan. And Umar doesn't have an out for that. He doesn't have an out. See? It's been such a waste. It really has been. Thanks, Perry, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Iceman, what's up, Iceman? Man says they told Umar, okay, you want to get reimbursed? Here's your $12. Now kick rocks. Yeah. See, even Umar telling the story about him taking his own money, I don't believe that shit. I think that's in painting the narrative. I don't believe that. See, if Umar has a history of using his own money to benefit this organization, where's the history of Umar using his own money to benefit FDMG? See, wouldn't that set a pattern of behavior if he was really doing that? And then we would see that since he started this FDMG school scam. Listen, there is no record whatsoever that I've seen or any even comments that Umar has made out of all the videos that I've seen of Umar where he says, listen, I'm using my own money to finance FDMG. Umar, how much money have you donated to this bullshit? Now that you watch this video, you're probably going to do a video to say, hey, yeah, I'll put in my own money. You ain't put in shit. You up here begging every single day for money. What you talking about? You ain't got no job, Tommy. What you talking about your own money? This guy got crazy tax liens that still past due. Tens of thousands of dollars. And I get it. People get taxes. It happens. But how are you going to have that amount of money and you can't even handle that shit and you still begging and then you're going to say, oh, yeah, I'll take my own money to finance it. No, you ain't got no money in the first place. Cut it out. Child support, same thing. You, Umar Johnson's fault. Y'all paying that $2 for $99. You paying that child support. It's really $3 for $99. Anyway, thanks, Iceman Vamp. Yeah, and the story don't make sense. What do you mean that there wasn't $200 or $300 and something dollars inside the car? No, that's not what was the case. Like someone said, he was mismanaging the money, which Umar has a history of doing anyway, and they just shut his ass off, and they was going to expel him. So he had to preemptively. He said, "Let me put in this letter of resignation for all this shit get out." All right? Thanks, out there, man. What's up, Louis Luck says he wouldn't have been a millionaire. He would have spent it faster than it came in. He's a non-functional addict. Well, you're right. you're right about that. Okay, I'm Louis. The hypothetical that I was presenting was that if Umar was about the business, if that makes sense, if Umar was a true professional, if Umar wasn't smoked out, if Umar was an outstanding man, in other words, also including that he was taking care of his kids. I know this is head movies on my part. Okay, shit. You're right. I ain't gonna, you got me on this one. But I want to be. But I'm giving my best case scenario for Umar. Okay, this is me showing some grace because I could just say that. Listen, he's on some bullshit. He is on some bullshit. And yeah, he would have run through all that money just like he run through the money that he got gets cut for the FDMG school scam. You're right. But I'm saying best case scenario that if Umar had his shit together, that he could have been a bona fide millionaire a few times over by now. And then he could have used that to fund these ideas. And some of this shit's crazy, like an FDMG farm and black pigs. And we're going to teach the boys how to fly helicopters and shit. And we're going to have a landing pad. I kid you not. In an airstrip for the airplanes. This is all on campus. Damn, you know, Louis, like, never mind. Listen, I take everything I said back what I said before. I'm trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? I always try to make it make sense. I want to see Umar do good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, he'd be able to do this and he wouldn't be all smoked out and sniffing and blinking. You know, you're right. I take it, but I want to give that as a hypothetical though, just because it goes to show you what could have been. That's all I'm saying. You know, I sound batshit crazy saying it, to be honest with you. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm trying to give Umar the benefit of the doubt and show him some grace. What could have been. That's all I'm saying. Okay. It's sad. See, looks like Umar don't even have his own home. He's been homeless since 2019. So I know I'm actually that doesn't help my argument. It actually helps your argument. But the point is that if Umar had his life together, he could have really done something great. But the damage was done way before Umar gets into the UNIA. The damage was done before he even gets into college. See, I'm talking about Umar and the pathology and all the different issues dealing with the mental health. All of that goes back to his childhood. You see, but I would have liked to have seen Umar at least start to get his life turned around in the right direction. And if he had done so, and he could have done it, you know, if he had done so by the time he starts talking about FDMG in 2010, how it's going to open in September of 2014, you figure over the last 15 years, Umar would have been a millionaire by now if he had gone virtual and done online in the first place to start to show proof of concept and then implement at least some of the things that I mentioned here. Even advertisement, people, you know, people they're a black entrepreneur, let's say they're trying to sell a product or a service, and he could have had them pay him a certain amount of money per month to have it advertised on his website, and it would become a hub. But not Umar. Yeah, it's sad. Anyway, thanks to us for the super chat. Okay, so that I just want to take the time to get into the UNI stuff. I wasn't planning on it, but someone had brought it up, and it's important to understand Umar's history. Umar's scamming with FDMG, it's not anything extraordinary, and it's not anything new. Umar's criminal-minded, and he's always been. And at this point, he's a non-functional addict. The truth, though, Louis Douglas, I don't think that Umar would have been functional even if he wasn't an addict, because the mental health issues are so extreme with this guy. The narcissism, the paranoia. He struggles with bipolar, schizophrenia. He also suffers with depression. And I don't mean to put this out here now, but I just want to be clear about something, because I'm gonna pull something up to tie this all together. We're gonna start winding down this show because we're gonna go for another. We'll go for another 30 minutes. If you guys go and look up Jamal Johnson's court case, because he tried to sue. That's why he don't like me talking, because really there's a lot more I know about this guy than he knows. And he don't want me talking about this type of shit. He's trying to scam. Okay, real talk. You guys go look this up online. You can look up Jamal Johnson versus what is it? The United States Post Office. Okay, I'm not going to pull this up. I just want you. This is for research purposes. You guys can look this up when you have your own time. It may be Jamal Abdullah Johnson versus United States Post Office. I'm going to be careful here too. I don't want to say too much. It's USA versus Jamal Johnson. He filed a lawsuit. He lost, but then he put it in the appeal. He lost that too. And this was in. You guys go look this up on your own. I'm not going to put any links or anything like that. You guys can look. It's all public record. September. It was submitted pursuant to the. Wow, this is September 23rd, 2024. This must be the. This is the Court of Appeals. This is when he appealed it. When you have some time, go ahead and take a look at this. This is something that I've talked about this. We've been going back and forth for years about this, and I don't want to say too much here, but me and Black Anonymous, we've talked about this over email. I've also talked about it with Brother Dion. Brother. Yeah, I think me and Dion talked about it, and a couple other people too. You guys know I shouldn't be saying all that, but I've talked with a couple of other people, and you know who you are. And part of the issue with Umar is that there are things that have been transferred over from one generation to the next. And if you guys look at the lawsuit and listen to what Jamal, how he explains why it was that to some degree he was struggling with actually coming to work and being consistent with going to work for the post office. And then after you read through that, I want you to think about Umar. And then pieces start, I don't want to say too much, but pieces start to get put back together very quickly. And you realize what's going on here. I don't want to say too much. And I'm giving some grace to Jamal here, right? So the point is that Umar, I don't think he would have been functional even if he wasn't an addict. I just think that him being a pookie exacerbates the issue of him being non-functional. See? Yeah. Yeah, and that's why Umar, he's reduced himself to a cyber bum. He's a virtual vagrant, and he spends his time and he spends his day trying to figure out ways to get money out of people, and he uses the internet to do that for producing absolutely nothing. Yeah, y'all gonna look that up yourself, okay? Okay, did I get to everyone? Yeah, okay, I think I got to all the super chats. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Oh, no, I didn't. Hold on a second. Lewis says the FDMG is going to be run by Umar by himself. He's going to be the receptionist, the school nurse, the lunch lady, the gym teacher, the bus driver, security, teacher, hall monitor, and principal. Yeah. Umar doesn't have a plan beyond renovations. He doesn't even have a plan for renovations. I mean, Lewis, you've been there. Do you remember when Umar first started with the renovation shit? Because he started with paint day. No, he started with a cleanup day. He didn't have no plan. And it's just stupid shit. I don't mean to say it that way, but it's just stupid shit. Once a year, maybe twice a year, he'll do something. But other than that, ain't nothing really changed. I mean, in the small gym, you remember he put in some carpet and put in like some little air conditioned units and some other shit. You don't have a plan. Because if you're going to do a project of this scale, you have to have an itemized list of everything that needs to be done. And then the general contractor would put together a schedule, and they would follow the schedule to minimize wasted time. See, Umar Fairchild said this earlier. Umar is the ultimate time waster, because I think that's how he phrased it. The schedule will be set up so that they maximize on efficiency, but Umar's doing all kinds of shit. The last thing you do is, why are you painting? It makes no sense. See, there's so many other things that need to get done before you even think about doing paint. And why are you painting the outside of the building for? That'll be one of the last things you do, but not Umar. He's all over the place because he never had a plan for renovations. Similarly, Lewis Luck, he doesn't have a plan for operations. See, at this point, he doesn't have, any job postings. Even the fact that Umar has changed the grand opening date, he's changed it to September 2026. He already should have jobs posted. So in preparation so that he can get the applications put in from the receptionist, the school nurse, the lunch ladies, the gym teacher, and then he gets to pick the bus driver, the security, the teacher, the hall monitor, the principal, or vice principal in this case, because he's supposed to be the principal, or he calls the headmaster. He should already have that lined up right now in advance of September of 2026, the grand opening for the students. There ain't no jobs. He don't even have a website yet. So here we go now. Now we got to start this whole cycle over again, seeing, okay, when is Umar going to change the date from 2026 to 2027? Because he don't have a plan for the operation. He didn't have a plan for listen, real talk. He didn't even have a plan for acquisition. Acquisition, renovations, or he called restoration, and operation. See, what we're talking about here is the operation. He ain't got none of this lined up. He said he's gonna collect all these resumes. Resumes for what? It's a total shit show. And it's just Umar. It's about him by himself. See? One last thing. When Umar, what does Umar say when he's up there begging for money? He says, we working, we ain't no we. It's Umar. Where everybody else at? Ain't no school. Ain't gonna be no school. He already done changed the date to 2026. And next year around this time, he'll change it to 2027. Mark my words. Thanks, little stuff. And there's still people who believe this. It's crazy. Iceman Vest says, in other words, Umar could have been a millionaire if Umar wasn't Umar. Yeah, basically. No, listen, I'm just trying. See, in my own mind, I always try to make things work. And I should stop doing it. I've been telling myself to stop doing it because you can drive yourself crazy. You know, okay, this doesn't, either if it doesn't make sense, I want to figure out a way to make it sense. As an example, how do we make sense the fact that Umar doesn't have any of this lined up for September of 2025? He doesn't have receptionists, a school nurse, a lunch lady, a gym teacher, bus driver, security teacher, hall monitor, principal, etc. And the list goes on and on. And he doesn't have it lined up for September of 2025, and he doesn't have it lined up yet for September 2026. This shit needs to be outlined way in advance. In fact, if you guys look at the Umar Academy, what they did was the first year budget, after they get approved for their budget, the first year was simply to get shit in order. To start the first school year. Hit the one. Is that what Umar's doing? Is that what he's done over the last 6 years? See, and they have funding coming in, right? They have a team. They have a gym teacher. They have a lunch lady. A lot of people for the new Umar Academy, they were with the Umar Academy before it closed down. They had to get, don't make me pull this shit up. They had a gang of principals. Don't make me do it. I said, shit. Don't make, because even the quality of the video, I said, what did they record this shit on, the VHS tape? I should pull that shit up. Y'all don't want to see that. Anyway, they have to plan. They had a year before classes started just to get shit in order so that classes could start. They already had the buildings. See, this is cross the T's and dot the I's and make sure that everything's in order. All the insurance is there. The faculty and staff, they got everything they need. The salaries are all set up, 401k plans, whatever, and different insurance. They got all the children ready to be. They already enrolled way in advance. Is that what Umar did? No. Is that what Umar's doing? No, because he don't have a plan. See, so getting back to this. In my mind, I'm always trying to make things work. I'm trying to make things make sense, but you can drive yourself crazy. And at the end of the day, if Umar was Umar and he is Umar, none of this would take place. I'm talking about him being a millionaire, him setting up this financial. It would be like whatever the opposite of a money pit would be. It would be a gold mine, an online gold mine. That's Umar Johnson father. He's the guy that got fired. I think that's when he got fired from the Boys and Girl Club. He could have set this up and he would be making money hand over fist over the last decade and just scale it over time to where he's bringing in anywhere from $1.5 to $2 million a year. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of overhead, but he would be living very comfortably and saving that money in order to open up a school, a physical building. Yeah. But that's not what Umar has done, because Umar is Umar. But I'm trying to figure out a way to make it make sense. And it could have been done if Umar had taken the time to get his mind right and get his substance abuse issues under control, get the sexual debauchery repeated shit under control, and got his health under control, including, and I'm just talking about mental health, but I'm talking about physical health too, and then be a father to his children, these types of things. He could have made this happen, but it's a tall order. And Umar thinks that he's the Black Christ. He thinks that he's the Messiah. He thinks that he's already perfect because he's the most requested scholar, the narcissism. And so nothing will change for the better in his life. In fact, things have continued to get worse, and they will continue to get worse. But it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. Right? Thanks, Iceman Vamp. That's what I'm saying. I'm not an Umar Johnson hater. I mean, I clown the shit out of him, but at the end of the day, I could see in my own mind what could have been done in retrospect. It's easier, you know, in retrospect to do this. What could have been done in order for Umar to live a fulfilled life where he's not online begging for money every single day, or it's not every day. Let me not overstate that, but that his whole platform is about begging for money and begging for cooch. All right. Okay. Yeah. This is the yeah, I don't want to get into this, but you guys can look up USA versus Jamal Johnson. Let me make sure this is the right one, though. Because this may be, no, this is the wrong one. I don't think this is, because this was before. This must be, unless he filed something else. Let's look at this. Yeah, this isn't the right one. So if I put in a link for this, you guys strike that, because this can't be from 2024. This must be someone else named Jamal Johnson. Matter of fact, let me do this. I'm going to find it, and I'm not going to provide the link to it, but I'm going to find it so that people can look it up themselves. But that's not the correct one. It's Johnson versus the United States Postal Service. That's the one. Okay. So let me apologize. All right. Johnson versus, it's not even coming up for some reason. So the case is no longer available, but we appreciate it. For legal research, please visit Westlaw. Yeah, it's not, the link is not active anymore. That's on Thomson Reuters. Let me see. Here it is on Justia Law. Let's see if it comes up for you. So Johnson versus the United States Postal Service. Let me give you the year. September 28th, 1973. Let me make sure this is the right one too. This can't be right. 1973, because Umar was born that year. He wasn't working for the post office. Let me see. Yeah, no, this is the wrong one. Yeah, too. Let me see if I can find it. Let me do this. I'm gonna pull up another video, and I'm gonna find it. I have it somewhere. Okay, so strike that one too. Anyway, real quick, Intello says, don't tell me he changed it again. Yeah, Umar changed the grand opening date to September of 2026. He changed the grand opening date. All right. Thanks for super chat. And I played the video earlier. Let me do this. How much time we got? Because I was going to pull some. Oh, I want to play this sequence from the documentary. I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play enough for people to get the idea of Umar and him changing all of these dates over the years. Remember, he said that he doesn't like to give dates, but he's been giving dates since 2010. And then let me go see if I can find this this court case. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I hate to check my message too, because my daughter, she was emailing me. Real quick, Louis X says, you need permission to bring a suit against a federal institution due to sovereign immunity. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that at all. But let me see if I could find that. Y'all give me a second. And I'm going to play this. This is from the document. It's a segment from the documentary. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear the audio on this.
On January 6, 2010, Umar Abdullah Johnson.
Thanks, Louis. Give me 1 second.
Johnson posted the following.
I'll be back.
On January 6, 2010, Umar Abdullah Johnson posted the following message on his Facebook page. Promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black Boys, specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening 9/11/2013. This is chess, not checkers. While this post was made in 2010, the FDMG grand opening date was set for September of 2013. So what happened between 2010 and 2013? Did Umar lay the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black Boys? On March 3, 2010, Umar Abdullah Johnson posted on his Facebook page that he is looking for young black males, high school, 14 to 17 years.
I'm sorry. I don't want to put this out there because this, I don't know why I would say this, but I'm looking for the, the loss, but I'm not seeing it. It's not coming up. But I'm on this other website and it's showing, well, I'm not even going to say this. Let me, now I'm going to leave this alone. Man, this is crazy. I'm going to leave. Why would it say that? Anyway, let me let this play.
To work in the FDMG aftercare and summer camp for black boys this spring, summer. I am also looking for black males interested in teaching at the FDMG School for Black Boys. Must have a bachelor's degree, Squeaky clean child abuse clearance with no felonies on the state FBI criminal clearance. Email resume and clearances to Umar Abdullah Johnson at yahoo.com. No sisters. So what happened to the FDMG aftercare and summer camp for black boys that was supposed to take place spring-summer of 2010? These events never occurred. In fact, not much was said about FDMG in 2010. However, in 2011, several videos show Umar Johnson speaking about the idea of FDMG.
You're going to spend about $3 billion on Christmas gifts. $3 billion. Do you know how many schools you could build for our boys out here with $3 billion? With your Christmas money. We ain't talking about your toenail money. We ain't talking about your rim money. We ain't talking about your vacation money. We talking about your Christmas money, black people.
And one of the biggest problems with public education, it's designed for them to fit into the American social order that has no place for them. So we got to rethink our entire approach to education, which is why I bring up those 6 sciences, because when I approach education, and I want to open my own school one day, hopefully soon, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black Boys.
It is interesting that Umar Johnson states that he wants to open up FDMG soon. It's been over 13 years since Umar Johnson made these comments, and there is still no functional accredited school. In 2012, Umar Johnson made these comments about FDMG.
And that's why I'm blessed enough to open up the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black Boys. It will be non-religious. You teach them your religion. I'm going to teach them race pride. You can give them Jesus and Muhammad, but I'm going to give them racial self-reliance.
In 2012, Umar Johnson stated that he will not teach FDMG students religion. However, in 2019, Umar Johnson stated that FDMG students will be required to learn Ifa. Ifa is a spiritual divination system that has its origins in Yorubaland, West Africa.
FDMG will be registered as an independent parochial academy. What does that mean? We are spiritual, but the word they use is religious. That's how we're registered. That means your child must study and learn Ifa, the traditional spiritual system of the Yoruba people of Nigeria. They don't have to practice.
The link that, I don't know what's going on. There's 2 things. I can't speak to this other thing. I'm gonna have to find out what's going on with that. But the link that showed the court filing the lawsuit, when you click on it, it doesn't show it anymore for some reason. Yeah, I'll keep looking.
If you're a diehard Christian and you believe that you're not allowed to learn your own spiritual culture, that's fine. They don't have to practice, but they must learn. Every child will receive a divination. Every child will receive a divination. Every boy of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy will receive a divination to find out under what energy they were born. We will have a house of Shango. We will have a house of Ogun. We will have a house of Yemoja. We will have a house of Eshu. We will have a house of Oshun Oya, a house of Obatala. Oh, yes. And we will have Obatala celebration, Oshun celebration, Yemoja celebration, Oya celebration. Oh, yes. Yes. And your child will dress up in the colors of the energy that walks with them.
In another video from December of 2012, Umar Johnson had this to say about the idea of FDMG.
The number one purpose of Team Pan African, my organization, is to build several schools, residential, revolutionary academies for young African boys and girls. I was in Los Angeles speaking this past week, and there's an elder there who granted my organization 6 of his acres of land upon which we can build a school. And so we're looking at one location being in San Bernardino, California, right outside of LA. I got another phone call this morning. There's a brother in Pennsylvania. He's an elder farmer, and he wants to grant Team Pan African several acres for us to build a school there.
If 6 acres of land in San Bernardino, California was donated to Umar Johnson in 2012, and acres of land in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania was donated to Umar Johnson in 2012, then why did it take Umar Johnson 6 more years to find a school location? More on this later.
So initially, I was only looking at one international school, starting with our boys. But with the help of the ancestors, it looks like we may have several schools being erected at the same time, and that we may be able to take care of the boys and the girls. So if you're interested in
Yeah, he
being a
is
part
funny.
of that movement to build a school district,
It is interesting that Umar Johnson was promoting the idea of an FDMG school district back in 2012. A school district would imply several schools that would exist throughout the country. This is a lofty goal for someone who had no experience in opening a school and no money to start the process of building a Pan-African school district. Remember that in 2010, Umar Johnson stated that the FDMG grand opening would be September 11th, 2013. And yet, in December of 2012, Umar Johnson is talking about opening a Pan-African school district and makes no mention of the September 11, 2013 grand opening. In July 2013, Umar Johnson gave the following FDMG update.
In my school that I'm working on building now, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Re-Africanization Academy for Boys, and the Amy Douglas, and the Anna Douglas, Frederick's wife, the Anna Douglas and Amy Jakes and Ashwood Garvey Academy for the girls, the long-term goal is to be residential. Because you cannot take a child from the home, and I know this from being a therapist. You cannot take the child from the home, do therapy on the depressed child, and send them back to the home that made them depressed. Same thing when it comes to re-Africanization. You can't take the child out of a Negro home for 7 hours, recondition their mind, and then send them back. Because what you did from 8 to 3, the parents are going to undo from 3 to 8 the next morning. So it got to be a residential academy.
To be clear, Umar Johnson conceptualized two separate residential academies. The first academy would be for boys and was called the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, a.k.a. FDMG. The second academy would be for girls and was called the Anna Douglas Amy Garvey Academy, a.k.a. ADAG. 2 days before the September 11, 2013 grand opening deadline, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date.
I'm simply saying that my own personal plan is to have the doors of my school open by August of 21st of 2015.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date from 2013 to August 21st, 2015. This began a pattern of behavior where Umar Johnson would change the FDMG grand opening date each year from 2013 to 2024. As we progress through the upcoming videos, it will be important to document each FDMG grand opening date change. Since we have the initial FDMG grand opening date as September 11, 2013, we can document it here. We can also add the grand opening date of August 21st, 2015.
Okay, you see what I'm doing here? I actually think I have him on record. I also have him on record saying that it was going to open in 2014. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if I actually have that in this, because he does that in the video where he's sitting inside of a suit. He's promoting the St. Paul's College. He wants to raise all this money in a short period of time. And he says, yeah, if we get the money, we should be able to open up by the end of 2014, if memory serves me correctly. Also, real quick, I have to say this because I'm actually a little bit concerned about this. So the link that showed the lawsuit that Jamal Johnson filed is inactive. It doesn't even show up. And I was looking to see if I could find it anywhere else. I haven't been able to find it. I wasn't planning on having that in the documentary anyway, because I think that's a little bit beyond the scope. And I didn't download it either. So I'm gonna have to just set that aside. But I did see, I'm looking on here, and I'm not putting this out there. I'm just saying that, and it's just, I don't know. There is a website, see, because he took all of his social media down though. Let me do one thing. Let me let this keep, because I don't even want to say this, what I'm seeing here. Okay, let me go ahead and play this. I'll be right back.
On September 14, 2013, Umar Johnson reiterated his August 21st, 2015 grand opening date.
And then hopefully August the 21st of 2015, 2 years, my school will open.
In the World Beat Center video from September 14, 2013, Umar Johnson made pertinent statements about FDMG and his future crowdfunding goal.
And then hopefully August the 21st of 2015, 2 years, my school will open. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Re-Africanization Academy. We're going to have an aviation academy. We're going to teach your sons and your daughters how to fly airplanes.
This guy's nuts. Linda says, I don't agree with some things he plans to do in the school. Well, there is no school, so let's be clear about that. However, I do think we need something like this for boys. It doesn't matter how many times he changes the date. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, well, if it doesn't matter, then he can do this. First of all, he's not interested in opening up a school. So let's be clear about that. We have to dismiss that. It's a myth. Okay, this is what Umar says that he's going to do, but he has no intention of opening up a school. Once you accept that truth, then it becomes a moot point to say that it doesn't matter how long. See, for Umar, it doesn't matter how long, because for Umar, the longer it goes on, the more money he can collect, not to open up a school, but so that he can live out his self. Everything that you guys, Umar Johnson, that you send Umar, it goes to Umar. Very little goes towards actually opening up a school. Okay, so this is to say, what was it, Linda? This is to say, Linda, that what if 10 years from now, Umar still hasn't opened up a school, and he's still collecting money from Black people with no school in sight? Is that okay? Remember, he conceptualized FDMG in 2004. It doesn't take 21 years to get something opened. See, ethically speaking, is there a line of demarcation where we say at this point, this is wrong for anyone to continue to promise year after year that a school is going to open and collect money from people because they believe that he's going to open up a school, and he does this indefinitely? At some point, the moral compass has to kick in and say, wait a minute, this is not right. And at what point is that? That's the real question, Linda. Okay. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. I'll phrase it that way. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. But ethically speaking, I think that it's a serious issue. Because if, let's say, Umar 5 years from now, he's still changing the dates and he's still collecting money this whole time, what if 10 years from now? What if 15 years from now? What if 20 years from now? Again, he's been at this since 2004. He started raising money for the St. Paul's College in 2014. So we're talking 11 years of raising money now and no school in sight. There should be a point where it does matter how long it takes, especially when you realize in the first place the truth that Umar has no intention of opening up a school in the first place. It's just a scam. That's what it is. See, so that's something ethically that you have to deal with. I do know from my vantage point that it's wrong for Umar to do what he's doing. And it's not just Umar, there's other people too. One last thing, whenever we use false equivalencies to justify bad behavior, we also need to look at ourselves on that and check ourselves on that. Building Rome is a false equivalency. We're not talking about, and what Umar is proposing is not about building Rome. He's talking about building a school for Black boys. So that's a false equivalency. The point I want to make is that people can make excuses for Umar all they want to. And if you want to give him money for a school that does not exist and have him use the money for his own lifestyle and do that indefinitely, have at it. Have at it. I can't tell people what they should do, what they should not do. I can't tell people what they should be doing with their own money. That's their business. But I will warn people that sending this guy money is no different than taking your money and throwing it in the trash can. And if that's what you want to do, fine. That's up to you. However, I will continue to speak out about what Umar is doing because ethically and morally, it's wrong. And the truth is that the longer this goes on, the worse it is, ethically and morally. See, that's how I see things. Okay. All right. Iceman Vamp says Rome wasn't built in a day, but it doesn't take 7 years to renovate a bathroom. yeah. And to be fair, it's been 6 years. It's been 6 years. March, April, May, 6 years and 3 months. I always try to be fair. It's been 6 years and 3 months. It does not take 6 years to get that done. Let me show you all something real quick, just to put this in proper perspective. Let's see here. Timeline. Here it is right here. I know I've done this before, but I'm going to bring this back up just so that we can put this in. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, logically speaking, But again, people do whatever you want to with the money, but let's not make excuses for bad behavior, especially for black men. We shouldn't do that. Black men need to be held accountable, and Umar's 50 years old. Okay. Let me show you all this right here. And then I'll get back to the other video, and then we'll close this out. From 2014 to 2016, we have Umar on record saying that he had raised $1 million. Then he says we almost got $1 million. We're just going to go with $1 million as a roundabout figure. From 2017 through 2018, Umar was stating that he was raising $125,000 per year at this point. So that gets us to $250,000. We take $1 million and $1 million and $250,000, so that, and add those together, from 2014 to 2018, Umar was sitting on bare minimum $1.25 million, $1,250,000. Okay, I'm going to bring this. Matter of fact, I'll make the point now. We can't say that Umar didn't have the money to open up a school. We're not building Rome here. Okay? That's an empire. The school purchase allegedly was in 2019 for allegedly $400,000. This is giving Umar the benefit of the doubt. He's never given a figure. It could be much less than this, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, $400,000. What that means is that Umar had $1.25 million. We're going to subtract $400,000 from that. In 2019, after he acquired his abandoned building, Umar should have been sitting on $850,000. He stated that renovations for both sides of the streets would cost $1 million, right? And yet he didn't start renovations for a year and a half after he acquired these abandoned buildings. Why? Because he didn't have $850,000 left over. He didn't have any money left over. That's why he gets evicted in 2019. See, we can say that Rome wasn't built in the day, but this guy, he doesn't even have money to pay his own rent. He has rental cars. That's all donation money. When he eats out food, that's donation money. When he's dealing with strippers, that's donation money. See? When he's dealing with the plug, that's donation money. We can make excuses all we want to. He should have been sitting on $850,000 in 2019. And then if we go from 2019 through 2024, we're not going to get into 2025, and we just take the figure of $125,000 a year, which Umar has stated, but also you can look at his IRS filings. I actually think it's more than that, but we're going to go based upon what we can verify based upon IRS filings. From 2019 to 2024, we take those years, we're going to multiply by 125,000. We're going to get to $750,000. If Umar had $850,000 left over, he should have had $850,000 left over in 2019, but he tricked off that money by that time. Okay. And again, that's from 2014 to over 5 years, he tricks off $850,000. We're going to add what he would have collected from 2019 to 2024, $750,000. Umar should have left over after acquiring these abandoned buildings $1,600,000 after purchasing these abandoned buildings. You see this? Now, if we throw back in the $400,000 right here that he spent on the abandoned buildings and put that back into the total amount raised, we're going to add that to $1.6 million. Bare minimum from 2014 through 2024, Umar raised bare minimum $2 million. But Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, we're not building Rome. And Umar didn't say that he was building Rome. That's what you call a false equivalency. Anytime you resort to false equivalencies or red herrings or ad hominem attacks, that type of thing, that's just excuse making, and you're unwilling to deal with the facts and the receipts. And the fact is, and the receipts show, that Umar is a con man and a scam artist. He has no intention of opening up a school. That the school idea is simply a means of him getting money. Okay, there's about 1.6. Let's even be more general. There's about $1.2 million that's missing over the last 11 years, which isn't a lot of money in the bigger scheme of things, because that's over a decade. You figure that's about roughly $100,000 a year to live off of, and that's what Umar's been doing since 2014. Okay. No excuse for that. Okay. Again, at some point there has to be a line of demarcation. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Okay. What if we go into when Umar's 65? Okay, 15 years from now, it still doesn't matter. And the whole time he's taking money out of the Black community, money that could be going towards other things or going towards other people who are actually doing things and who are building things. King Randall, as an example. Umar scammed King Randall too, by the way. Okay, I think I've already proven my point. We'll move on. Steve Bannon charged wire fraud. How Umar Johnson different? He's not, and it's only a matter of time. See, wire fraud, especially dealing with the internet, you see a lot more of that taking place. I'll propose that if Umar gets hemmed up in the first place, it's going to, and wire fraud could be part of it, but that it would be dealing with the IRS in filing false paperwork or misrepresenting how much money he's collected through his nonprofit status with the IRS. And all they would need to do is to audit all his bank accounts, CashApp, PayPal. Just because the GoFundMe's been shut down doesn't mean that they can't subpoena all of that information. It's a digital trail. I have a degree in cybersecurity. There's a digital trail for all of that. They wouldn't be able to get all the PO box money that was coming through, right? But they would be able to get enough to get a roundabout figure and then add it all up. And then it would be very clear very quickly dealing with Umar that there's millions of dollars, at least $1.1 million that's missing, at least one, or let's say $1.2 million that's just missing over the last 11 years. Okay, well, now we're getting to wire fraud. Okay. Yeah, and you're right. It's not even that he's living off of the donations. He's surviving off of the donations. You're right. Okay, he doesn't have his own home. He doesn't have his own vehicle. He stays inside his mama closet. The list goes on and on. All right. Thank you all for those super chats. I appreciate it. Hey, Latoya. I said, hey, Lenon said, so good to see you. Good. Thank you so much. Good to see you too. Latoya been around from way long time ago. Okay. Thank you so much. Good to see you. All right. Okay. What we're going to do to close this out, I'm just going to play the rest of this video. I was looking for this information on Jamal Johnson. The link that I had for the lawsuit, it's just inactive now. You click on it and it says it's not available anymore. And then I saw some other stuff that's kind of troubling that I'm a bit concerned about too. I just don't want to speak that right now. Okay. I'm going to leave that at that. I wasn't planning on having that lawsuit inside the documentary, so it doesn't matter as much anyway. And I could say more in terms of fake lawsuits that was filed. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But out of respect for the dead, I'm going to leave that at that. Okay. Rest in peace. Thanks, Latoya, too, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay. Let me go ahead. We're going to wind this down right here with this. And I'm going to look into something else. I'll be right back.
They'll be able to get their junior pilot.
Oh, I didn't mean for you guys to see that. Okay, this is
two important points to
that,
consider here. First, at the top, center video.
I told people that I've been using an alternative means to get information about Umar. And I guess I'll tell you all now, one of the things that I've been able to do is to, and in particular, dealing with his child support and his baby mamas. What I've done is I've put together a family tree, and I know how, because I've done my own personal family tree too, and I'm putting it together to be able to get more information. I won't be sharing that with people in the documentary, but this is one of the ways that I've been able to get a lot more information as I'm working through the Umar Johnson timeline. Okay, that wasn't for you guys to see, but I just want to explain what you guys saw there. Okay, let's continue. Here we go.
1,347 days or 3.5 years had passed since Umar Johnson posted that FDMG would open on September 11, 2013. Clearly, no groundwork had been completed concerning the grand opening of FDMG since January 6, 2010. This proves that Umar Johnson did not have a clear plan of action with respect to laying the groundwork for FDMG, let alone opening a fully functional accredited school. Second, the idea of having an aviation academy is consistent with the grandiose imaginings present in Umar Johnson's conceptualizations of FDMG. More on this later.
And I'm going to go on a national fundraising tour. I'm getting the paperwork ready now. It looks like by New Year's Day, I'll be ready to put up my website for the school and tell you, show me the damn money. And you better give me some money because I'm going to talk about San Diego if I don't get no damn money.
It is important to note that Umar Johnson stated that he was going on a national fundraising tour and that he was getting his paperwork in order so that he could set up a website to collect donations. If Umar Johnson was laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy back in January of 2010, then shouldn't he have had his paperwork in order and a functional FDMG website by September of 2013? Wouldn't 3.5 years be more than enough time to complete these basic tasks? Umar Johnson's inability to handle basic business proves that Umar Johnson never had a clear plan, motivation to complete basic tasks, or a desire to open a fully functional accredited school. This will become more apparent as we progress through the Umar Johnson timeline.
And I'm going to go on a national fundraising tour. I'm getting the paperwork ready now. It looks like by New Year's Day, I'll be ready to put up my website for the school and tell you, show me the damn money. And you better give me some money because I'm going to talk about San Diego if I don't get no damn money.
This video clip proves two things. First, Umar Johnson was talking about raising money for FDMG in 2013. Second, Umar Johnson's general attitude towards donation money was one of personal entitlement. It was not about FDMG or the needs of black boys. It was about Umar Johnson's personal needs.
You spent $300 for that pocketbook. I know you got $200 for my school. Brother, you driving a $50,000 car? Your car note is $500? You ain't got $200 for my school? Woman, you got the $200 for Versace? You ain't got $100 for my school? I'm going to expose you if you don't give me no that. Because I am not going to go to the government and say, can you finance my school for black boys? I'm not in that. I'm a Garveyite. I am a revolutionary Pan African nationalist. And if it got to be done, it's going to be done by us. So you better start saving your damn pennies. I'll take pennies. You can send me a big penny bank full of pennies.
Umar Johnson's sense of entitlement and generally negative disposition towards FDMG donors and towards black parents will become more apparent as we progress through the Umar Johnson timeline.
Just real quick, is there any, you know what location is going to be?
Location.
I seen one of the videos you said that could be potentially be in San Bernardino. Like, that's my area, dude.
It can be anywhere.
Okay.
I'm not going to choose the location to the last minute because I'm still studying. I got to study certain things. I got to study parents who are going to be ready to put their kids in the school and also pay, okay? But I am trying to get the school 100% subsidized by the rich blacks.
Umar Johnson is literally making things up as he goes along. While this pattern of behavior extends beyond FDMG, it is important to recognize that this improvisational approach to FDMG is a clear indicator that Umar Johnson never had a clear plan with respects to opening a fully functional accredited school.
But I am trying to get the school 100% subsidized by the rich blacks. So that way the kids ain't got to pay. You know why? Because some of y'all who kids are really going to need my school, you ain't going to value their education enough to pay.
Umar Johnson's general disposition towards black parents is extremely negative and can be observed in many of his videos.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. The kids who really need it will be the last ones in line because the parents ain't putting that money out. They got shoes and clothes to buy.
It is not uncommon for Umar Johnson to attempt to correct his disrespect of black parents. However, the fact that he speaks to black parents with such disrespect in the first place is indicative of a negative disposition towards black people in general.
So I'm trying to get Tyler Perry and Oprah and some of y'all in here who retired and y'all making nice little money. You might say, oh, my grandkids is grown, but Dr. Umar, your tuition is $500 a month. I want to sponsor one child's education. I'm going to pay you $500 a month for 12 years.
500. You see this guy? Real quick, X Freeman, if you're here, can you email me a link to your YouTube page? If you're here right now.
$100 a month for 12 years would be $72,000. $500 a month for 12 years, people in general.
So I'm trying to get Tyler Perry and Oprah and some of y'all in here who retired and y'all making nice little money. You might say, oh, my grandkids is grown, but Dr. Umar, your tuition is $500 a month. I want to sponsor one child's education. I'm going to pay you $500 a month for 12 years.
$500 a month for 12 years would be $72,000. Hypothetically speaking, if the school year was only 8 months long, then 12 years of tuition would be $48,000.
And that young man is going to be my young protege. He's going to write when you call, you will have a pro.
He's just making this shit up. And see, they spend all that money just to get to graduation, but then the diplomas are useless because the school would be unaccredited. Now they got to go through the GED, $48,000 for VGED, then you go get your GED. It's crazy. Lenon was sitting in the front row of that San Diego. No, I wasn't. I know what that's at, though. In fact, Makeda Dredd, yeah, I think she's my wife's godmother, I think. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Because my wife lived in San Diego for a while when she was a child. And then Makeda, she's the one that runs the World Beat Center. I know her too. She knows my family. She had a crush on my dad. Okay. because he had dreads and all this stuff. He was trying to be a Ross. He tried to be everything. Okay, anyway, I think he still has dreads. I think he still does. It's funny because my sons, my older two boys, they got locks and stuff. They just, I got to, you enjoy that while you can, because they probably ain't gonna be there in a couple of months. I'll just play it. But yeah, I know Makeda. I performed there at the World Beat Center. My father's performed there, and I believe that because Makeda was real good friends with my and still is with my wife's aunt and wife's mother. Rest in peace. And I don't want to say too much, but they go back way back to the 80s. Anyway, no, I wasn't in the front row. But I know what that said. I performed there, and I know the woman who runs the World Beat Center. She knows my family from a long time ago. Oh, you went to school in San Diego? Yeah. I'm from San Diego. Yeah, I went to SEPA. I also went to O'Farrell. I went to Audubon, and I went to Freeze Elementary as well. Okay, and you guys know what? I'm contemplating either making this live stream private or blurring out what I showed because the thing is, I'm looking on here now, it actually shows Umar Johnson's baby mama's names, and I don't want to have that out there. I mean, people could research and find it for themselves anyway. What I could do is blur that, and then when I blur it though, the chat room won't populate anymore. People won't see all the comments inside the chat room. Maybe that would be the best route instead of privating it. I just want to keep their names out of this. That was a mistake on my part. Part of the problem is the interface here on, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I want to be careful about that. I'll decide before the live stream is over with. But this interface, the way that they have it set up now for, because they've actually changed it, and you could pull up one thing thinking you're pulling up something else, or you pulling up one thing, but it'll actually pull up something else. Anyway, I've complained about it enough already. Let's get through the rest of this, and then I'll decide what I'll do. I don't think I need to necessarily make it private, but what I can do at least is blur that so that people don't see the baby mama's names. It shows one of the daughter's names too, and then their last names, just from a cybersecurity, because I know how Umar Johnson follows. They crazy. Anyway, let's go. Okay, yeah, I know where Mary May's at. Yeah,
Umar Johnson is literally making things up as he goes along.
That means everybody can help, even if you ain't got no children. Some of y'all got some good money in your family. Y'all need to pay for like a whole classroom. When I go to Oprah and Tyler Perry, I wouldn't handle one damn kid. Y'all better pay for a whole grade of kids. But if the school comes off the way I want it to come off.
See, this is 2013. Remember I showed the video for Umar from 2005? See, by this time you start seeing him rubbing his nose and shit. Look at it.
I believe the ancestors are behind me on this.
Real sassy with the hand gestures.
Something nobody's ever seen. And I'm not knocking none of the.
Yeah, Mira Mesa too. They have a not an airport, but they have like I can't remember what it's called, airfield, Mira Mesa Airfield or something like that.
Afrocentric schools. I'm not knocking nobody. But as somebody who's been in most of them around the world, I really ain't seen that school that our kids need, y'all. I ain't seen it. And so it's my responsibility.
Yeah, you're right.
And that I will do.
While in Atlanta, Georgia, Umar Johnson took to the stage in January of 2014 and stated the following.
So the school is coming. I know I have naysayers.
It's coming.
I have some in Atlanta.
Oh, it's coming.
I have some in other cities.
Trust
who say we think he's bluffing. He ain't building no school. He just talking like the rest of them do. Okay, well just sit back and watch. Give me about 12 to 16 months and let's see how much Dr. Umar Johnson is bluffing, damn it.
For the record, 12 to 16 months would mean that the grand opening of FDMG would be between January and July of 2015. We can add that FDMG grand opening change to the list. It is important to note that by January of 2014, Umar Johnson was facing increased criticism from the Black community concerning delays associated with FDMG. Umar Johnson responded to his critics stating,
"Give me about 12 to 16 months and let's see how much Dr. Umar Johnson is bluffing, damn it. I don't play games. That's one thing I don't do. You understand? I got the blood of Frederick Douglass in my damn body. I ain't playing no games. I know what my ancestors sent me here to do, and I'm going to do it. It ain't no mistake that I got 6 degrees and still got my damn pants sagging. I'm still swagging, and I got all the degrees at a white university. You ain't never seen nobody come like me in front of your ass with the truth, with a white man's education, but still loving his black woman to death. You ain't never seen it. You don't question me and what the hell I do. Who helping your kids like me? Who keeping them out of special ed like me? Who keeping them off of ADHD like me? Who testing them? Who making them mentally gifted? Who at the prison? Who at the court? Who working with the lawyers? Don't nobody back up what the hell they say like me. Don't you ever question my ass again.
And this is not only narcissism, but it's the cult.
In an interview uploaded to YouTube in January of 2014, Umar Johnson gave the following update.
My goal is to build a Pan-African school district. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy for Black Boys. And the Anna Douglas and Amy Jakes Garvey RBG Leadership Academy for Black Girls.
On March 26, 2014, Umar Johnson posted the following message on his Facebook page. Aerial view of preliminary Heaven on Earth Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy 500-acre campus encircled by FDMG River in the shape of Mother Africa. Ancestors Park in the center of the campus, dormitories, airfield, athletic facilities, farm, state-of-the-art music and theater production studio, greenhouse, zoo, community center, separate building for all 33 trade areas, and much more. Included with this Facebook post was an image of the aerial view of the 500-acre FDMG campus compound. The 500-acre compound included a security booth, a campus security center, a welcome center, 7 massive dormitory buildings, including visitor rooms, an elementary school, a middle school, a marine science building, a science and technology building, a hospital, a health center, an engineering and architectural building, a zoo, farmland area, agricultural building, animal study building, farming equipment building, special arts building, a store, a culinary arts building, a business center and union building, a track and field facility, a baseball stadium, a political government building, an aviation and NASA building, a military building, an air traffic control tower, 2 aircraft bays, an airport runway, a man-made river shaped like Africa surrounding the 500-acre campus compound, and much, much more. This is easily a $1 billion project, and it is incredible that Umar Johnson considers.
It's actually multi-billions. Multi-billions. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is multi-billion. Yeah, even with a zoo. This is a multi. Y'all need to stop. It's a multi-billion-dollar project. A baseball stadium and track and field facility and an airstrip and a hospital and 2 schools, massive dormitories. God, boy, he nuts. And that's not even all of it, but yeah, it's multi-billion.
Conceptualize such a grandiose project without any money to start the process of building such a massive.
If Umar Johnson said, "Where my San Diego Africans at? Would you right?" No, I wouldn't. I'll sit down even further in the chair. You better not. Thanks, user 225.
Compound. In April of 2014, Umar Johnson began collecting donations to purchase the St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia. By May of 2014, Umar Johnson had produced the following video.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Umar Johnson, and I am a school psychologist and doctor of clinical psychology. In addition to that, I hold degrees in political science and education. I am here at the historic St. Paul's College. This beautiful campus, 135 acres of which I hope to make the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for African Children. This college, St. Paul's, was opened on September the 24th, 1888 by a contemporary of the great Booker T. Washington. That great ancestor's name was James Solomon Russell. Father Russell opened this college with less than a dozen students. And by the time it reached its zenith, St. Paul's College owned more than 1,000 acres of land and housed more than 1,000 African children. But unfortunately, last summer.
Yeah, it would be multi-billion, but also have Umar saying how he wanted to establish a Pan-African city, literally a city. I have him on record saying that.
June of 2013, the board of directors of this college graduated the last class of students from St. Paul's College. I'm hoping that you will help me keep this college in the hands of the African American community. I have a plan for this campus. I want to turn this campus into the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy.
On May 30th, 2014, Umar Johnson explained why he was trying to purchase St. Paul's College.
St. Paul's, a lot of it had to do with availability, location, feasibility, and costs. For example, Morris Brown College was just sold to the city of Atlanta for about $14 million. That's a pretty price versus what St. Paul's is looking for, which is in the low millions. Also, there's other historically black colleges that may soon, unfortunately, come up for sale as well, but they're not at the selling stage. And because I want my school to be residential, I was looking for a place that had the dormitories as well as the athletic facilities, as well as the academic facilities. And St. Paul's being in Virginia on the Eastern Seaboard, not too far from Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, not too far from North Carolina, South Carolina. It was just the perfect location. The size is doable, manageable, small, but large enough to make happen what we need to see happen for our young men. So it would be the perfect place for a lot of reasons.
He later encouraged people to donate.
Hoping that members of our community, the African and African American community, will help me by supporting to the fundraiser that they go to Dr. Umar Johnson School.com, DRUMAR Johnson School.com. Click on the PayPal link and donate as much as you can. And don't donate once, come back 2 and 3 times. And I also ask that you donate what you're able to give. Don't give me $20 if you're giving the gas station $100. Don't give me $10 if you're giving your hairdresser, your cosmetologist, $300 a week, but you're only going to give me $20 for our boys.
Again, Umar Johnson has a sense of personal entitlement when it comes to FDMG donation money.
So I'm asking people to give what they're able to give. If you can only give $10, I accept that humbly as the best you can do, and I will value that donation as much as I would a much larger donation. But if you're going to give me something that is beneath what you're able to do, then that's kind of disrespectful, and that's an insult for what we're trying to do. There's a war against black boys, and I'm at the forefront of trying to reverse it. We have a lot of scholars who talk. They talk about it, but they're not doing anything. Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to do something about that war by giving our children a heaven on earth and a home away from the home, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG Academy.
On June 7, 2014, Umar Johnson posted the following message: FDMG Future Redemption Campus Dormitory Photos, Aerial, Vertical, and Lobby Photos. This is the long-term facility transformation plan after we acquire St. Paul's College, as we will eventually need more dorm space than currently available. Please make a donation today. The message also included renderings of massive dormitory buildings and lobby. These dormitory buildings appear to be the same buildings located within the massive 500-acre FDMG campus compound that Umar Johnson showed on June 7, 2014. It must also be mentioned that Umar Johnson ultimately conceptualized an FDMG city.
They sold 300 acres of the farmland without me even knowing it. And I wanted to use that so we can manufacture a Black Wall Street situation. Because the way I saw it, all the parents of the children would build houses there. All the teachers would build houses there. And if you got all of y'all, let's say y'all the staff and parents of the school, y'all all living on this 500 acres that we developed, we're going to need a gas station that's a business for somebody. We're going to need a supermarket that's a business for somebody. We're going to need a daycare. We're going to need a cleaners. Sooner or later, we're going to need a fire department, and we're going to need a police department, which means at some point we would have to do what? Incorporate into our own city. Are y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
On June 20th, 2014, Umar Johnson was interviewed about the FDMG crowdfunding campaign and gave the following grand opening date.
If I acquired a college in August we should be ready with a couple of grades that we can start in next August of 2015. We won't be able to have the college fully operable from pre-K to 12, which is my vision, pre-K to 12 elementary school, but we will be able to start somewhere between 4th and the 7th grade. I'm confident of that. If we get that campus this summer, we will be open next summer with a couple of grades operating. I can guarantee that.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to August of 2015. At the end of 2015, Umar Johnson spoke in Detroit, Michigan.
I'm coming back to Detroit in January to walk through some of the public schools that the city has.
It must be noted that part of Umar Johnson's crowdfunding strategy was to go to different cities across the United States and tell people that he was looking for a school location in their city. By doing this, he was able to maximize donations received from his audience. In other words, people in attendance were more inclined to donate to Umar Johnson if he told them that he was looking for a school location in their city. More on this later.
You all have helped me raise over $500,000 for the FDMG.
In this December of 2015 video, Umar Johnson clearly stated that he raised over $500,000 for FDMG. This would mean that between the spring of 2014 and the end of 2015, Umar Johnson raised over $500,000. Stated another way, Umar Johnson raised $500,000 in 1.5 years.
You all have helped me raise over $500,000 for the FDMG. I can't keep waiting to get to $2 million. So we can buy one of these schools in Detroit. One of the bigger ones.
Yeah, I want people to really be clear about that. Let me just listen to how much money was raised in a very short period of time.
Johnson raised $500,000 in 1.5 years.
Okay. Based upon his own words, Umar raises $500,000 in 1.5 years. He's been raising money for 11. $500,000 in 1.5 years. He's been raising money for 11.
You all have helped me raise over $500,000 for the FDMG. I can't keep waiting to get to $2 million. So we can buy one of these schools in Detroit. One of the bigger ones. I don't need a small one. I need some size and some land around it. I heard about a Robertson High School. I heard about a Cooley High School. And I heard about some other high schools that got land and football fields and tracks around it. If I can get one of them from the city at a reasonable price and get it rehab at a reasonable price, I don't see why we can't start school in September 2016.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to September of 2016. During an interview in May of 2016, Umar Johnson gave the following update.
And please make your donations to the Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. And you can do that two ways. GoFundMe.com/Dr. Umar. Again, GoFundMe.com/DRUMAR. Or you can mail it in, payable to FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 6872, Philadelphia, 19132. And if you want to work at the school, I know we're about 2 years away, but if you want to work at the school, send me your resume, please.
This video was recorded in May of 2016. Umar Johnson stating that the school was 2 years away means that the grand opening would take place around May of 2018. For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to around May of 2018. While speaking in St. Petersburg, Florida in 2016, Umar Johnson said the following.
When the school opens, God willing, in the next year or two. When the school opens, God willing, in the next year or two.
This video was recorded in 2016. Therefore, when Umar Johnson stated that FDMG will open within the next year or two, he is stating that the FDMG grand opening date will be in 2017 or 2018.
FDMG will be purchased in 2017, and the first day of school will be August the 21st of 2018. That's the first day. Mark your calendar. I promise you, August the 21st, 2018, we are opening the doors to FDMG Academy.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to August 21st, 2018. This date was restated in 2016 and in 2017.
Brothers and sisters, I've made up my mind. The first day of school will be August the 21st, 2018.
How close do you think it is to you getting to school?
Well, we've already set an opening date. We've decided that August the 21st, 2018, which is the anniversary of the Nat Turner War. That's when the school will be open.
The solution is independent African schools. The solution is the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy, a.k.a. Heaven on Earth, a.k.a. 82118. That's the solution.
On July 7, 2017, Umar Johnson was interviewed by Roland Martin.
You talked about taking over the buildings or the land of a black school that was shut down.
Yes, sir.
HBCU
St. Paul's
campus.
College.
And you were raising money for it. First of all, how much money has been raised, and what's the status of that project?
Well, St. Paul's has been sold. Approximately 3 to 5 months ago, I was told by the auction company in charge of the sale that it was been sold to a developer.
So how much money was raised? What the people gave? All people gave. How much was raised, and what's the status of that?
$700,000, and the status is we're still looking for a school, and the status is my start date for FDMG will be 8/21/18, or if at all, it may be delayed to 8/21/19.
For the record, Umar Johnson stated that the FDMG grand opening date could be changed to August 21st, 2019. On October 12, 2017, Umar Johnson was interviewed by Mike Nice.
When can my viewers, my listeners, and your supporters be expecting your school? What year? What's the time frame?
Okay.
If you had
Again, another question that I've answered.
Yep.
50
I know you
times.
said in August of 2018, if not August in 2018, the following year of 2019.
You already have your answer.
Right. So what are the chances you're going to get that though? Have your own school by those in the next couple of years? Is 100 like is 100%, 90%? Okay.
That the school will be up on August 21st, 2019.
Okay.
And if there was a delay, and I don't see why there should be, then so be it. No one who supports me and my work would care about that at all.
But eventually you do want the school, whether it is in 2 years or it's 5 years.
Well, if I didn't want the school soon,
brother, can we put your mic up this? I'm sorry. Continue.
If I didn't want the school soon, I wouldn't have a date for it already.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that's the answer to that question is self-explanatory.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to August 21st, 2019. On February 9, 2019, Umar Johnson spent a portion of the FDMG donation money and purchased abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. In his school announcement video, Umar stated the following.
We celebrate 100 years of the red, black, and green flag. August of 2020. August of 1920, that's when the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey chose the red, black, and green. August of 2020, the red, black, and green flag turns 100 years old. That's when we're going to open the school. That's when we're going to open the school.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to August 21st, 2020. On December 13, 2019, Umar Johnson appeared on The Breakfast Club and said the following.
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. God willing, we hope to be operational, if not by this summer, definitely by next.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to the summer of 2021.
I have to be watching people, watching things. Just some of the incidents over the past couple of days at FDMG has made it clear to me I'm going to have to be more hands-on with the renovation process of the Marcus Garvey Academy than I originally thought. So there will be no 4th grade class. We're just going to wait for the real school next fall, God willing. Fall of 2021, that's what we're aiming for. Fall of 2021, that's what we're aiming for. 8/21/21, 21/21, that's what we're looking at. 8/21/21.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to the fall of 2021.
Okay, when I get back to Philadelphia, the electric system should be totally completed in the FDMG Academy School and the Nat Turner Gymnasium. I can't wait to walk into the gymnasium, brothers and sisters. I want to see what the Nat Turner Gymnasium looks like with all the lights on, all lit up. But again, I just wanted to come and say Happy New Year's Let's make this a revolutionary new year, a progressive new year. Let's get the school finished, brothers and sisters. I want to have a grand opening block party, first annual Unapologetically African Family First Festival on Ifatunde Avenue, Dr. Papa Boulevard. And we want to do that this summer.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date back to the summer of 2021.
But we are in a good place right now. We have the HVAC technician that we need. We believe we found the right person. We believe we found the right plumber that we need. And so we're hoping to have the entire campus renovated by the end of this summer.
And the school will then be opened for the fall of 2021?
No, sir. We're looking to open up the school the fall of 2022. If we are fortunate enough to conclude renovations on the Marcus Garvey building and Nat Turner Gymnasium this summer, we look to open up the school next summer. So that would give us 12 months of leeway to comfortably make sure we have everything in place to receive our young men, not this coming fall, but the following fall of 2022.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to the fall of 2022.
He was in his mama closet too, right there. That was him in his mama closet. See right here?
2022. If we are fortunate enough to conclude renovations on the Marcus Garvey building.
See how small that space is? That's the other wall right there. There's the window and then the wall behind him and the other wall right next to him.
Building in Nat Turner Gymnasium this summer. We look to open up the school next summer. So that would give.
Yeah, Seth. Yeah, apparently God is not willing on this one. Yeah. We almost done.
Us 12 months of leeway to comfortably make sure we have everything in place to receive our young men, not this coming fall, but the following fall of 2022.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to the fall of 2022.
Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit the PayPal.
Yes. How can I help you, young lady? How you doing there, beautiful?
I've been waiting for you to open a school for my son for like 3 years.
We working on it. It'll be 3 years in February, but we real close. If all goes well, that gymnasium you see right there will be ready, hopefully, by the end of Black History Month. The school should be ready no later than our next festival, which is going to be September 10th.
For the record.
Maul B says, yeah, the 300 I sent Umar back in 2014 went to Kim Ringo and cocaine. Never again. God bless you. Oh, thank you so much for the blessings, Maul B. It's sad. Umar, he's raised millions of dollars. I give the lowball figure of 2 million. My best estimate is 2.6, 2.7, but he could be over 3 million by now. The thing is that even let's say that there's people out there that sent Umar $1,000. Can we say that there's been 100 people over the last 11 years that sent Umar $1,000? Yeah, well, that's $100,000. See, this guy, he's betrayed a lot of people, and yeah, some of that money went to Kim Ringo because remember he was flying Kim Ringo out, and he would meet her in hotel rooms. He couldn't take her to his mama closet. No, he had his own place at the time, didn't he? But he didn't want to take her to his apartment because his apartment was filthy. Remember, he flipped the phone, so he would get hotel rooms. Well, who's paying for that? Well, unfortunately, Maul, your money and other donors' money, it went towards Umar and funding his lifestyle, which included flying strippers out and flying other women out to have sex with them and put them up in hotels and motel rooms. That's just part of it. You know, he has a substance abuse issues. He has gambling issues. I could pull the video. I got to leave in just a moment. If I have time later on this evening, I'll get back on here and maybe we could just show the gambling videos. It's sad because there's people who believed in Umar and he's betrayed people's trust, including your trust, but he's betrayed the Black community. And there's still people who defend him to this day. It's totally unfortunate. And the other thing I always think about this is that there's always an opportunity cost, including with money. If you take money and put it towards one thing, it takes away from taking that money and putting it towards something else. And there are people out there who I'm sure they would have wanted their money back, the amount of money, whatever that money amounted, $50, $500, $5,000 for that matter, and they would have preferred to have that money back and they could have put it towards something else. But Umar, he's crafty. You know, he set up a great deception. He's a con man. And we've all been conned, myself included. We've all been fooled by people, myself included. It's better to know the truth than to not. And when you know the truth, then you move differently. And I hope that these videos that they've helped some people to know the truth about Umar. He's nothing more than a con man. That's all it is. He's a slick talking con man who will take black people's money and continues to this day to take back people's money for a school that does not exist and use that money for him on himself, the vast majority of it. Okay. Yeah. God bless you too, Mal B. I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna do. We're gonna finish this up. There's only about 2 more minutes on this. I gotta head out, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this video to private, and when I get back home, I'm gonna blur out the section that shows Umar Johnson's baby mama's names, his daughter's name, and other relatives' names. I just don't want to have that on there. I mean, it's all public record anyway. Is that you, son? Oh, it's all public record anyway. But just as an act of integrity, the downside to that is that once I blur that out, the chat room won't actually appear. Okay, it's just how YouTube works. It's unfortunate. And the chat, quick chat is really what people come to see. That's when I rewatch these videos. I'm just sitting inside the chat room. So, but I think it's a worthwhile sacrifice because I want to keep their anonymity. Umar Johnson's daughter, baby mamas. It also has their other information on there too. That I don't want to have that out there like that. So what I'm gonna do is after this live stream, I'll private it. When I get back home, I'll blur that out, and then it's not even a re-upload. I'll put it back active. It's just that section be blurred out, but the chat room won't appear. Okay, I apologize for that. I kind of screwed up on that. All right. Okay, so let's finish this up, and then I'll be done for this live stream. Again, members, we did do a members live stream earlier today. It was about an hour long, something like that. If you're a member, go and check that out when you have some time. Okay, here we go.
Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to September 10th, 2022.
Was you here for the last festival? Well, you got to be here for the next one. Got to be here for the next one, September 10th. And I'm just giving it more time than that. I think we can beat September 10th, but that's when we'll probably unveil the school to the community. So if we're ready by next fall, I don't think we start in school to the following fall, though.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to the fall of 2023.
For your son to attend the school, I want you to know that we're working on a virtual platform that will allow your son to tap right into the classroom at 8 o'clock in the morning and see his teacher and see his classmates no matter where he lives at in the world. If all goes well, brothers and sisters, the last Saturday of February will be the grand opening, the community grand opening at the school. So please put that on your calendar. It's not 99% etched in stone yet, but as we're sitting now, the electric work is done, the plumbing work is done, the HVAC is up and running. We just need controls. I don't see why we
see it's not up and running. You don't even have controls to control it.
Won't be up and running for that grand opening the last Saturday of February.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to February of 2023.
Yeah, he did it last month. We just didn't catch it. He moved it to September of 2026. And this is September of 2025. He's supposed to have an opening for the community just to come and look at the school, but that's not a grand opening for an actual school. The grand opening for a school with students, classes are in session. Umar pushed that back to September of 2026. Okay, just like he's doing in all these videos that I'm showing here. Almost done.
Today I am proud to let you know that the first school in America history, built exclusively with the African dollar, will be ready and will be open.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kwanzaa of 2023.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to December of 2023.
How many is that already? 1, 2, 3,
In August of 2023, Umar Johnson stated the following.
If we don't
see how smoked out he is, look at it.
Don't have it ready for Kwanzaa, we're looking at Dr. King's birthday. If we don't do the grand opening during Kwanzaa, and if we don't do the grand opening at Dr. King's birthday, we're going to do the grand opening of the FDMG campus, your school, my school, and our school, the first Saturday of Black History Month. We will not go past the first Saturday in Black History Month. In fact, we might got to do 28 events in 28 days. We might got to have a 28-day grand opening of the FDMG Academy, Black History Month. It's King Kong, brothers and sisters.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to January of 2024 and February of 2024. In June of 2024, Umar Johnson spoke in New Orleans and stated the following.
But let me tell you what I'm working on. And I don't like to put all my plans out there because at least 5 of you are coons who only hit a snitching. But listen,
So disrespectful.
I'm not just building that school in Delaware just to educate the children. It's the face of my movement because it's the most non-threatening thing, a school. But once that school is up and running, and should be in a matter of months.
A matter of months could mean that the FDMG grand opening will be sometime in 2024 or sometime in 2025. For the record, Umar Johnson changed the grand opening date to sometime in 2024 or sometime in 2025. In June of 2024, Umar Johnson stated the following.
I want the food already growing when the children start school next August. Not this August, next August.
Next August would be August of 2025. For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to August of 2025.
Peace and love, brother. How you doing? All right, man. Good to see you, brother.
It's gonna be open.
Real soon, brother. We hoping to be open by the end of the year.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to the end of 2024.
How we doing, black man?
Hey, man, you be catching a lot of rhetoric, man. What's up with the school?
I'm
man?
all right. We pushing. We almost there.
Everything?
Everything.
You recording a video right now?
Yeah, unless you want me to take you off.
Nah, you good. You good.
All right.
You good.
What you got to say to the people? You live on my IG.
We live, man. We live on Dr. Umar G, man. We just riding through. You really out here, man. I just want to ask you what's up with the process and what's going on with the
Yes,
Marcus
sir.
Garvey Academy.
We almost there, bro. We got some floors and some walls to paint.
And that's it?
And that's it.
And it's up?
And then it's up. Well, we got to apply to the city and see if we get our certificate. You feel me? As long as they approve us, we're going to be up. Then we're going to come over here and start on the high school. You feel me? So we almost there. God willing, if all work out, we might have a grand opening Black History Month, February.
For the record, Umar Johnson changed the FDMG grand opening date to February of 2025. Over the last 14 years, Umar Johnson has changed the FDMG grand opening date at least 25 times. The question is, why? Why would Umar Johnson change the grand opening date so many times? The answer to this question is both simple and diabolical. Understand that Umar Johnson has no intention of opening a fully functional, accredited school. His intention is to keep deceiving his supporters while collecting donations indefinitely.
All right. Thanks to the members, too, by the way. I also wanted to let y'all know he's changed it officially. He's changed the grand opening date. And I didn't even have that. This in the doc, this rough draft. He changed it to September of 2025. He also changed it to February of 2025, January of 2025, February of 2025, and then September of 2025. And we watched a video earlier where he changes the grand opening where the school actually opens for the children. They're enrolled to September of 2026. You guys see a pattern here? He's a con man. So people can say, well, you know, how much Rome wasn't built in a day. We're not building. This isn't Rome. What we're talking about here is a con man, and he's going to continue to get money out of Black people for a school that does not exist. It's truly unfortunate and it's sad. All right. All right, I want to thank everyone so much for tuning on, and I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I'm going to set it to private, and then I'm going to blur out the information about Umar's baby mamas. I apologize for that. And then after it's blurred out, I'll set it back to active. It'll probably be late tonight sometime. I want to thank all the mods for handling this. Also, thanks to everyone inside the Cook Quartet. Cook Quartet's undefeated. Okay, if you haven't checked out the show from yesterday, get into the archive, check that out. Also, for members, we did a live stream earlier today as well. We'll probably live stream again on Monday, maybe Tuesday. Also, thanks everyone who sent in super chats. If you send in cash apps or PayPal, my cash apps, PayPal information listed down below in the description of this video. Again, thank you guys so much for all of your support. And then user 225 says, will Breakfast Club and other shows ever turn on Umar Johnson? I don't know. I think for the Breakfast Club in particular, it would take something like that is so egregious for them to finally admit. And DJ Envy knows that Umar is a scam artist. Charlamagne knows that too, but they bring him on because he brings views. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. They recognize that he's gonna bring views. He's gonna go viral. He gets the most amount of views, in my opinion, on the Breakfast Club. And so the numbers go up, ratings go up. They make money that way. But unfortunately, it exposes a new people to Umar Johnson's scam. So for them, it's just weighing the benefits and the detriments. And as obviously what's been is the benefits of them outweigh the detriments to the Black community. They don't give a shit. I think it would take Umar really doing something totally egregious for them to turn on him and then tell the truth about not only him being an FDMG scam artist, a con man, but also Umar being someone who is sexually exploiting Black women and has been doing this for over a decade now. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, user 225. I hope everyone enjoyed the live stream. If you did enjoy the live stream, please hit that like button as you exit the building. And as we always do.
Oh my gosh, so you're fancy, huh?
Yeah, black community activist. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See your eyes shine, she's my soul burning peace.
Turn this down a little bit.
She's my sweet love supreme. Touch to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make you goose, step and I rip out of control.
It's me and you tonight.
Snow burning.
Moving on the car. Everything's so right. Got that smooth soul feel.
No, that's
dancing in the light. With my snow burning up. Been party by
see your eyes shine, she's my soul burning peace. In the winter light, so she's my sweet love.
Thanks, Stevie.
Touch to my nose, this love has
Yeah,
got
pretty
it so
good.
raw.
Hey, man.
Make you goose, step and I rip out of
Thank you,
control.
Leslie. Thanks for tuning on in, too.
It's me and you tonight.
Snow burning.
Hey, Larry.
Everything's so right. Got that smooth soul feel.
No, that's
dancing in the light.
Math, Cyan, or Cyan. I think my son be watching that. Yeah, Cooker says undefeated. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah and Dell. The Marion.
Touch to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make you goose, step and I rip out of control.
It's me and you tonight.
Hey, Miss Independent.
Moving on the car. Everything's so right. Got that smooth
Yeah, support tonight.
No, that's
dancing in the light. With my snow burning up. Been party by
see your eyes shine, she's my soul
Orlando.
burning peace. In the winter light, so she's my sweet love supreme.
Everyone enjoy the rest of the day.
Touch to my nose, this love has got it
Hey,
so
Biggie.
raw. Make you goose, step and I rip out of control.
Yeah, he's disappointed a lot of people.
It's me and you tonight.
All right, after a while, Crocodile. Thank you for tuning in, Malika.
Everything's so right. Got
Nobody.
No, that's
dancing in the light. With my snow burning up. Been party by
see your eyes shine, she's my soul
Hey, Iris.
burning peace. In the winter
Lynn
light, so she's my
and
sweet
Just
love
Kate.
supreme. Touch to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make you goose, step and I rip out of control.
It's me and you tonight.
Snow burning.
Moving on the car. Everything's so right. Got that smooth soul feel.
No, that's
What's up, Steph? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, as we used to say back in the day, you're a scrub. Thanks for tuning in, Carlita. Okay, everyone, please enjoy the rest of your evening. Everyone, thank you again for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like button as you head on out if you haven't already. Love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. All right, y'all take care. Peace.